Usually, the Northwest Tour is known for their super realistic oval racing, but tonight, the Northwest Tour brings their cars to the road courses where we're going to turn right and left in a road course doubleheader. Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Rentz, joined by Charles Wooten with Wesley Outland down on pit road for the road course doubleheader here for the iRacing.com Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products live on LSR TV. Charles, a little bit different here tonight because this race is going to be unique, as this is the first time that the series visits Limerock Motorsports Park. And then, as soon as this race is over, we're headed north of the border to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for race number 2 of a doubleheader here tonight.
Give me just a minute. We'll figure out what's going on. There we go. Now the fans can hear me. So apparently we've learned a few things already coming into this race, Greg. And is that Mike doesn't like road courses either. So it did not want to cooperate with us. As you know, this is a bit of a travel here. Maybe we hooked something up wrong. I don't know. But yeah, going left, going right, it's totally different here. And we did find out earlier in the day, Greg, that one race is going to be a standing start. The other is going to be a rolling start. So not only is it two different tracks, totally different from what they normally do, we also are getting two different starts.
Yeah, the first race up, Limerock, which is where we're at right now, getting set to start this hour and 15 minute or 65 laps, whichever one happens first. That one will be your typical rolling start. Canadian Tire, though, that's where we're going to see the standing start. Qualifying has already happened, and our drivers are getting set to go. We are not doing this typical, the way that you guys are used to seeing it here in this format with the B main, C main, all that fun stuff. What we have done, we've qualified all drivers who are here. There's roughly 50 once again. You are going to see the top flight, if you will. Kind of like what we see in iRacing official racing. This is the top flight, the highest ranked of the qualifying times. The rest of the drivers, they will be going in a main at the exact same time for full points, but we're not going to be showing that one. We're showing the top flight, much like you see on a normal iRacing broadcast. So, Charles, a very unique format here tonight for the road courses. It's our only time of the year we get to go and turn right here with the super late models for the Northwest Tour, and we're looking very much forward to seeing what happens tonight on the road courses.
Yeah, and my apologies if I start laughing. They may be turning right, but what I was supposed with was so wrong. So, but we'll refrain from going over that one. But, you know, Greg, this is, again, it's a totally different beast. Drivers like Sean Brightsman are going to be here tonight. Could we see someone like that? Maybe we have these road course ringers that are going to come through the field here tonight and possibly do something. That being said, your top qualifier was Caden Anderson, who has been pretty hot this season so far. Could he capitalize, get the road win here at Limerock, which, by the way, side note, is my first time ever covering this race at this track, and it's yours as well.
Yeah, neither of us have been to this racetrack here on the iRacing server. And I'm going to tell you right now, speaking from experience, the two guys you're going to want to have to watch that we have not talked about yet, Shane Quinn and Ryan Gormley. Quinn got the win at Watkins Glen last year in the Road Course Challenge, where Gormley picked up the win at Laguna Seca last year for the Road Course Challenge. So those are two guys you've got to keep an eye on as well. And you mentioned Brightsman. He was the dominant driver in the Northwest Racing Series here on the road courses this season. Speaking of the Northwest Racing Series, one of my cohorts from the Northwest Racing Series, both Cup and Trucks, is down on pit road. Wesley Outland, your Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, is down there. And Wesley, what do you have for us down on pit road today?
Well, good Sunday evening to everybody. Coming off of the virtual snowball, custom fab derby at Five Flags Speedway last week to now road course racing. Not one, but two. And Limerock Park and Canadian Tire are two different animals amongst themselves. These drivers are going to have some quick 40-lap features, but 40 laps is not a long time. That'll actually seem like a long time. On a racetrack short, it would be done in a jiffy, but on a road course, it's one of those things where, bottom line, you have to save your tires. You got to save your equipment. You got to know your ins and outs, your Humpty Bumps, the marks, the turtles, all the carousels, all of these names that are not used in the world of short track racing on an oval will be used here in the world of road course racing. And again, we'll have to follow it, keep what's going on, follow the stories, and so much more. It should be exciting. First at Limerock Park, then it's off to Canadian Tire. And again, 40 laps. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, Greg, but 40 laps on a road course seems like an eternity. It should be one of the longest race nights of the year for the iRacing Northwest Tour, presented by Joe's Racing Products, and I'll be proud to be your virtual Joe's Racing Products pit reporter whenever they come down to the pits for stories along the way. Don't think it'll happen too much, but if they do, we'll have an update.
Oh, Wesley, you say that every single week the Northwest Tour is in action, and yet you're one of the busiest guys here with all the stuff that happens. And
I know it's just good. It's good to play with the people. I'm pantomiming to the audience,
and it's going to be it's going to be busy though, because instead of your usual tap out rule, we're doing something a little different. Remember, no cautions here in the road course. So, with that being said, this is what we're going to do. Wesley, you're going to be having to keep an eye out on this for us, because instead of the tap out rule, the way that's going to work tonight, instead of going to the back if you cause a caution, because there are no cautions, anyone who taps is going to serve a drive-through penalty on pit road to make up for that lack of caution flag and therefore lack of EOL penalty. So if a driver comes down pit road, odds are it's because he's tapping out from a racing incident, and it's just like the regular tap out rule, you are allowed 2 of those before you're done for the race. So with that being said, going to be interesting to see how these drivers handle the road course, because this is a lot different than what we're used to seeing here turning left. And Charles, real quick, you know what we forgot to do? It's my first time here. It's your first time here. We mentioned what track we're at, but we didn't mention where the track is at, because we've been so caught up in, wow, this is such a great track and this is so unique. We forgot to talk about where we are. Limerock Park is located in Lakeview, Connecticut. Several different configurations are available. Tonight we're using a 1.5 mile, 7-turn layout. Classic Limerock is what it's called. There are multiple variations of this track to use. We are using what's called Classic Limerock here tonight. 1.5 miles exactly the distance here tonight. Drivers right now, fastest practice time is Shane Quinn, the number 4, at a 49.362. So you can expect around 50-second lap times here tonight, at least at the start of the race, but we can expect those times to really start to fall off there in the going, Charles.
Yeah, and then it's a good thing you knew where it was. I'm gonna be honest with everybody, all the fans. I didn't even know where this track was. You saw when we came in here before we went live. I didn't even know it was a free piece of content here on iRacing. I'd never been here before. It looks like a really nice facility, so glad to race here. And, as the fans see right there on the screen, we got a garden gnome with the shovel in his hand. Looks like he's ready to dig too, as well as these drivers. But again, interesting points about this track. Look at it, you can see it real quick before it changes. The blue cone right there on the screen. That's another thing that's a little different. I'm not used to seeing those blue cones on road courses. But it's right there as you come out of the pits, which is a good thing for these drivers, which means they can merge right in. They don't really have to worry about it too much. Although, like I said, we're not going to see too many pit stops here tonight. And to add to your point about the pit stops, if they have to do a drive-through penalty, they were warned prior to coming into the race. If they use that drive-through penalty to stop and get fuel and tires, they will have an additional penalty, because that is not what it's intended for. So they're going to have to be careful not to think, oh, I'll just take tires, because then again, that negates that penalty. They could get another penalty, or they have to come back down the next lap as well.
So there is a lot on the line here when you have to take that tap out rule and come down pit road for the penalty. We are expecting a stop for fuel here in this race. So with that, that's going to play a wrinkle. Is anyone going to try to sneak it? Here's the thing though. The review board is going to be very, very adamant that no, you do not do that. Lady and gentlemen, we say lady because Ellie Musgrave did qualify for the race here tonight, so she will be driving the number 23 car out there, the lone female driver in the field. As you see, what we were just looking at, there's the gnome that you were talking about there, Charles, but what we were looking at right there, that's one of my favorite parts of this racetrack. The time before, just seeing them shoot up over that hill, it almost takes off and almost takes flight like you would see in one of those stadium truck races. It almost looks like those cars come up over the air or get some air there. We will show you what we're talking about throughout the course of this race here at Limerock. Going to be a lot of fun. First time the series has visited Limerock Park. Looking very, very forward. Right there, watch this car as he comes up and then right there, it almost looks like he's jumping. Here comes another pack led by Cole Raz. Right there, it looks like they jump over. So unique here for this track. Look, I can't wait to see what happens when these drivers go rocking and rolling over that hill for the first time at speed.
Yeah, and it'll be in a group together. That'll be interesting. Again, we did get word we normally, I can't really say normally here, we would have already been into the race at about 5 after. That is not the case here. They had to delay it to about 15 after, so we got about 5 more minutes. And I know we've kind of neglected our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, so maybe we'll see if he can't grab Caden Anderson. He was our pole sitter. We'll have a chat with him about getting on pole here at the road course in the Northwest Tour Series. But definitely a totally different beast. But you're still seeing some of these guys that you're used to seeing at the top right now. Isaiah Gill, we've seen him quite a bit. Travis Barnes, Caden Anderson, up there, Ryan Gormley, Cole Raz in the top 10 in 8th place. So still some heavy hitter names up at the top of the speed charts right now.
Cole Raz just went for a ride there, Charles. Cole Raz just nose it into the tire barrier. We can expect to see a lot of that here coming up tonight. And I believe that our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, Wesley Allen, has indeed caught up with Caden Anderson before this race begins.
I have, actually, and we're just kind of shooting the breeze and talking about things of your previous success, Caden, on the Northwest Cup Series when you got a pole here at Canadian Tire or Limerock. And you're doing well on the road courses, and wanted to see what your thoughts are preparing for the double road courses here tonight for the iRacing Northwest Tour.
Yeah, I feel like tonight's going to be all about capitalizing on your mistakes. Tonight's going to be about making 0 mistakes. If you can, stay on track and don't force anything, don't make any mistakes, I think you're going to finish pretty good, whether you're slow or not, Fortunately, I was pretty quick here at Limerock. Not the same at Canadian Tire, but we'll see how we do at Canadian Tire. Hopefully I can just stay out front and run away with it here at Limerock.
Double features. How do you adapt virtually to this ride, and obviously Lima Land and Canadian Tire or Limerock? I keep saying Lima Land. It's a dirt track. Limerock. Every time you run Limerock or Canadian Tire, they're two totally different beasts, aren't they?
Yeah, they're completely different tracks. I feel like here at Limerock you can really push the car, to the limits, to where at Canadian Tire you have to do the opposite. You have to be conservative and not overdrive the corners, because you're going to end up going off track, which you could do that here, but I feel like you can push it more here. But it's just another track and another race. Just got to get yourself focused for it and go out there and hopefully do good.
All right, that's Caden Anderson, looking for another win here on the road courses at Limerock and Canadian Tire. We'll keep an eye on that number 37. Again, that's been a Joe's Racing Products pit report. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Wesley. And we're about 3 minutes out from the cars getting told to pull in and pull up to the grid here in this race. So it will be a wild night here tonight. Charles, your final pre-race thoughts before we get set to turn them loose.
Again, just it's different. It's a road course. It's left, it's right. It's a double header, basically. We're running 2 road courses One, me and you are very familiar with, and I do see Jeff Stabno in here. He's not sure if he's racing tonight. I do not believe he is. Probably just spotting for Sean Brightsman, or he could be spotting for Dan West Jr. I'm not sure if Dan West Jr. is even in this race, but he's up there with him in their radio chatter. But you know, we're familiar with that track. This one we'll get used to, but definitely going to be a fun race.
Oh, certainly, Charles. Looking forward to it. Well, we got about 2 minutes before we get the call to line them up, so we're going to take a quick chance to thank one of our sponsors, because when this thing goes green, it goes green the full way. We're not going to get a chance until the middle of the race, so we want to squeeze at least one of those things in there now. We're going to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll have the entirety of the first race at Limerock Park coming your way on LSR TV and CRN Sports Radio. Back live here at Limerock Park, where practice has concluded. We are set for a grid here tonight. We are going for 1 hour and 15 minutes or 65 laps, whichever one comes first here, because this is a very unique circumstance. We got them on the time limit.
I thought it was 40 laps. I thought it was 40 laps, Greg. What happened to 65?
I believe that's going to be Canadian Tire, if I recall. It's set for 65 laps or an hour 15 minutes. We're on time limits for both races. Fake news. Hashtag fake news. Well, Charles, we're getting set, so let's go through the ComServe Wireless starting lineup on the pole tonight. No invert for this one. It'll be Caden Anderson taking him to the green flag, with Marshall Peterson to his outside, making his first start of the season, qualified second. Chris Carroll and Josh Washington going to roll off position 3 and 4. Carroll, the Snowball Derby winner last week. The female driver in the field, Ellie Musgrave, will start in 6th position. To her inside will be Travis Barnes in the number 8. He qualified top 5. Cole Raz, truck winner on Thursday night in Michigan, alongside last year's winner of road course race number 1, talking about Shane Quinn, in the number 4. Nick Bellamy and the Tucker Dog Special, Brock Denny, round out your top 10.
So there we go. Look to see Sean Brightsman working his way to the front, as he is a road course racer. Ryan Gormley in the 44 machine on his outside, followed by row 7, Isaiah Gill, and the 79 of Gary Smith. Row 8 is going to be the 52 of Jason Day and the 87 of Ian Holloway. Row 9 going to be the 72 of BJ Tidrick and the 7 of Dylan Huffines. And row 10, and your top 20 drivers is going to be Seth Brazier in the 32 and the 96 of Casey Garber.
Matthew Atkinson will roll off 21st with Josh Childress 22nd. Bryce Beatty in the number 07. Thomas O'Hara in the number 75, 23rd and 24th. Troy Tarbuck in 25th. Bart Ecker Jr. work to do here. Not a typical road course driver. 26th on the day. Travis McKinney, Garrett Huffines, Chris White, and Matt Hackathorn round out the field. But Hackathorn has been struggling with connection issues all night and did not make the grid. We will see how we go for this one. 30 cars getting set to take the green flag here tonight at Limerock Park, and they're in the hands of Caden Anderson, and the pace car is just about to dive off into the field. So here we go. First of two road course races for an hour and 15 minutes or 65 laps, whichever one comes first. Green flag in the air. We're turning right and left, but we're still kicking the asphalt. What a charge through the field for Travis Barnes in the number 8. He's into Anderson, and we have problems already just like that. Travis Barnes and Caden Anderson having issues as they roll through the S's, and Wesley, as they come through the S's, the 37 of Anderson, heavy damage on the right side.
Yeah, through the S's, a lot of damage on those machines. That's a tough break for Andersons, but no lace, no caution. Like we said, probably no yellow flag in this event. So it's Peterson, Carroll, Raz, and you see the entire Warlords work their way up the racetrack through the no-back straightaway as they come back downhill and head back to start-finish.
As they come down the hill into the swooping right-hander to come around onto the front stretch. Charles Marshall Peterson ducking off pit road. Looks like Peterson tapping on that one.
Yeah, he is dipping off, going onto pit road, and looks like Brock Denny having issues as well. A lot of drivers right there. You can see him, the 96 having issues, the 23 of Ellie Musgrave having issues. A lot of cars having issues right here in this one corner. Again, just not what these guys are wanting, but a lot of problems early on in the race. But Greg, we kind of expected that coming into this race.
Yeah, a lot of drivers with not a lot of road course experience, and it was talked about. A lot of drivers said before the season even began, hey, this race, this is going to be my throwaway. I can already tell you. They do have a throwaway race here in the Northwest Tour, and they were pretty confident that this was going to be, as several of the drivers were. So now we're going to see what we have brewing here with the rest of the field. 4-car breakaway at the front. Anderson, Carroll, the snowball winner, Raz, winner in the trucks this past Thursday night at Michigan, and then Shane Quinn, last year's winner at Watkins Glen. 3 wins on the year last year for Quinn. One of them came here at the road course, and the previous 2 Snowball Derby winners all in this front 4, Wesley.
They'll make their way through the S's up around that corner. We're going to ride on board with one of these drivers and see what it's going to be like. But for all the mikes and marbles of Anderson's problems on the start at the giddy up, he's still out in front. They'll work their way up the no-name straightaway, uphill to turn number 5. That makes that long winder to the back straightaway with Caden Anderson, Carroll, Raz, who's coming off of a truck win on Thursday for the Northwest Truck Series at Michigan, back across the stripe.
They come down. Anderson has led all 4 laps thus far. Begins lap number 5. Down into the right-hander. Carroll still there. Raz, Quinn. And then it's a long way back, Charles, to Sean Breitzman, who started 11th but is already up into the 5th position. And Breitzman, we talked about it in the pre-race. We know letting it come to him in this one.
Yeah, he's definitely just biding his time right now. And unfortunately, I do want to quickly apologize to the fans out there. I know it probably looks choppy, and even mouse may sound a little choppy. We're going to keep actively watching this And the last thing we want to have to do is end the broadcast. But, just like your neck of the woods, Greg, there is snow in this area as well. It's really cold outside. Moisture is in the air. Power lines are down, and we are currently not pushing any internet right now. The internet is completely shot. We will keep going, though. We may attempt to try to record this as well, but we do apologize for any internet issues we have. Unfortunately, just that time of the year when bad weather comes around.
And it's not just in Texas, trust me. I looked out the window before this race started and said, oh boy, this ain't gonna be pretty. Anderson, Carroll, Raz, and Quinn, 4-car breakaway, then Brightsman all by himself. Then we find another group of Gill, Barnes, Smith, Tidrick, and Frazier all trying to get up there. Seth Frazier still throwing the Mike Wood Race Designs Peanuts paint scheme from the Snowball Derby. He still got that one on board.
Yeah, that's, again, so many nice paint jobs out here. And, there you see just more of them. Isaiah Gill just behind them in the 14. Some really, really nice looking paint jobs. The real question is here, can Caden Anderson get the win, as we have somebody going around back here? That's the 07 and the 19. They're going to get tangled up together of Bryce Beatty. And I believe that's, not sure who that is with him, but Bryce Beatty definitely getting involved in this. And for a road course, heavy damage to that 07 machine.
With a lot of damage, and no doubt he's going to turn it towards pit road. We'll see if Wesley Allen can go catch up with, say, Bryce Beatty, who has already elected to just tow it down onto pit road. We'll see if Wesley Allen can catch up with the crew on the 07, because all of a sudden this race has gone bad in a hurry for Bryce Beatty in the number 07. We'll see if Wesley can go catch up with the crew on the 07 as he's on pit
guys,
road.
I'm dead on it right now. I'm actually on the in-car for Bryce Beatty. Bryce, what happened to the 07 and why you're out here in the early going at Limerock?
Just guys trying to make moves a little too fast, not getting it easy, and just very unfortunate.
So reset and get ready for Canadian Tire. You're going to use this as a drop race, you think?
Oh, I only have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Go ahead and go out, and I'll definitely pick up some more positions. There's going to be a lot of guys making mistakes. I'm just going to capitalize on that.
All right, so that's Bryce Beatty. He is out of the event, ladies and gentlemen. As this race continues on, they're going to make their way back down to the front straightaway with Carroll still on in front as we're about to approach 10 laps in.
Thank you, Wesley. Carroll leading the way over Shane Quinn. That's the previous two Snowball Derby winners on track right now. Leading the way as Anderson ducks down pit road in the number 37. Charles, I was looking at the number 7 of Dylan Huffines. He has a lot, and I mean a lot of damage on the front end of that number 7 car. So I'm worried about him moving forward. We'll see if we can pick up the 7 of Huffines as you watch Cole Raz try to snake his way around through the field right now. But man, it has been wild. There is Huffines in the 7, and just look at the amount of damage on the Selah Washington native right there. Look at that.
Yeah, and you saw right there, you got a little loose there. Is the aero handling a little less than ideal with all that damage. He's really going to have to fight and claw to get every position he can. We'll just have to kind of wait and see in the end how it all works. But again, these guys will have to pit, come down, and get some fuel and tires. Again, we did hear from Race Control there is no tire limit here tonight. Just for the sheer fact that this track is left and right, they're going to eat these tires quite fast at this track. And we also will talk to a couple of different drivers who turned up the tire sounds. You can turn those up here, unlike real life, where you can hear those a little bit better. And they're using that to know how bad they're scuffing these tires up out on the track, and they're using that to determine, okay, this is a good line. I should brake a little bit more getting in here. And they're using it to their advantage, which is good, because you want to conserve these tires as best you can. Although with that much damage on a car, it's not going to do you any favors. So he's got to be really careful out there not to get any more damage by wrecking this car like the 40 did right there.
Yeah, this is going to be a race of attrition. We're already about 11 laps into this one, working lap number 11 right now here in this race. So we're trying to get this thing going as quickly as possible, but looking good right now. Carroll leading, Quinn second, Raz, Breitzman, Anderson your top 5.
And surprisingly, that Anderson has fallen back a little bit, and there's why that car's not handling very well for him at all. He started off strong, and then it just seems to have faded the more he goes, and I'm surprised there wasn't almost contact right there between him and the 8 as the 8 goes off track. That is Travis Barnes, but Travis got damage as well. 37 of Anderson doing everything he can, and a good job for saving it just a second ago.
Anderson just trying to recover right now after leading the first few laps of this race, but he's off the track now, and Barnes with a big slide. So people are getting all kinds of racy right now, trying to get up there and get as many positions as they can, because they know just how quickly this race can change. And we're going to have a race for the lead here very quickly, because something happened to Chris Carroll, and Shane Quinn is knocking on the door.
Yeah,
it is almost a 3-car battle, gentlemen, as they work their way up the no-name straightaway with that battle you mentioned with Carroll, Quinn, Raz. Charles are going to stay single file, but it seemed a lot like the midgets last night in the iRacing Power Ice Show where they were dirt tracking off the corner.
Yeah, they were definitely doing that. And while you watch this battle, we do want to, of course, remind everybody there is a new midget series coming to LSR TV. If you can go register for that, if you want to race midgets on Thursday nights, that will be before the Northwest Track Series as well. Just look at the Facebook page for LSR TV. Registration is right on there. It's not us. It is actually Nazra putting it on. But make sure you check them out and get registered for that if you want to race some midgets. But they may be dirt tracking it here more long, Greg, as we've already seen quite a few go into the grass and throw some mud and dirt into the air. But that's not what they want to do here. This is not where you want to sling dirt, as Shane Quinn's going to take the lead.
Rocking the lead is the winner last year at Watkins Glen, Shane Quinn, storming out front now of Chris Carroll. And a lot of people were pointing to that 4-car as a guy who could really turn his season back around here tonight with a good run at the road courses and possibly pick up a win, maybe 2. It would be win number 4 on the career of Shane Quinn. But look who's lurking in third. We talked about him. Cole Raz in the number 21 was going to be having a good race here tonight after the momentum for the truck from the truck race on Monday at Michigan, and here he is up to third right now, closing in on your leaders.
Yeah, he's trying to get that number 21 to top position as he is moving forward, and Caden Anderson going in the opposite direction. You know, really, Sean Breitzman back here, I want to mention him real quick.
Well, guys, trouble back straightaway. Oh, I'm sorry, it's on the front straightaway. I thought it was the back stretch, but we got one crashing hard.
Looked like Garrett Huffines in the 42 may have had some issues there, trying to come on the pit road.
And he has
he's parked it.
Yeah,
wow.
He wrecked it so hard, he just said, no, you can just magically tow it to the pits. I'm out of here. And he is done for the day. So unfortunate for one of the Huffines, Garrett Huffines. Dylan Huffines, is he in this race? Yes, he is. He talked about him in 7th position right now, doing a little bit better overall. Both of the Huffines brothers here not having ideal road course races. And Greg, I know you can probably see this as well as I can. I'm looking at the safety rating and the I rating of these drivers. And for anyone that doesn't know what that is, that of course is, you know, what determines what you can get into officially. It really doesn't mean any hill of beans, really, as my grandmother say here in league stuff and hosted. But you've got 4 A classes, 1, 2, 3, 4 B classes. Everybody else is a C, D, or rookie, which means they have not progressed through the rankings of road course racing here on iRacing. And that just shows you, unless they're doing official or unofficial hosted stuff or league stuff, these guys, like you mentioned, do not race road courses very often. And unfortunately for some of them here, it's definitely showing, as we've seen a lot of off courses, and we've seen some big wrecks as well into the outside guardrail and the inside guardrail.
We'll follow up on that in just a moment. Wesley Outland, our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, has caught up with Garrett Huffines.
I have Garrett Huffines, second car out of the race. Garrett, what's your take on what happened in 42?
I don't know. I just wasn't having fun, so I left.
Just was not having fun, so he left. Are you just not a fan of Limerock? You think Canadian Tire might be better?
I'm not sure if I'm going to run that one, honestly. I liked Watkins Glen. Just the whole road course super late thing isn't my deal.
All right, there's the thoughts of Garrett Huffines. Gentlemen, he is out of the race and might be done for the night.
And that goes back to what you were talking about there, Charles. A lot of these drivers don't spend a lot of time on the road courses because a lot of them don't really focus on road course. They like the oval. That's what super late models are designed for. So this road course race is a very controversial subject in the driver's eyes. They like it, but they don't, if that makes sense. It's fun for something different, but when they're actually out there, it really shows how difficult that it is. And a lot of drivers get frustrated with it. And time again, having all these incidents, which we're seeing throughout the course of the race, and it begins to wear on you longer and longer the race goes. So with that said, not surprised to see these drivers starting to get a little frustrated here with the off tracks that's happening right now, and you're starting to really see the drivers who spend a lot of time on road courses really begin to make their way up to the front now.
Yeah, they are. They're working their way slowly but surely up to the front. Again, right now, your top five: Quinn, Carroll, Raz, and Brightsman. And looking here, assuming our timing is correct here, we are on lap 19 of 65. We know that is accurate. Again, I'm not 100% sure on the accuracy of our time in the race, but it's showing right now we have just at 40 minutes left in this race to run those last let's just switch it over there. Roll over there. 47 laps to go. 47 laps, 40 minutes. Greg, if that time is correct, I don't see us making this race because it's taken about roughly just under a minute. It's going to be pushing it right to the border of making it the full 65 laps.
It's going to be close for sure. So these drivers not only racing the lap count and each other, they're racing the clock tonight as well. So that's going to add another wrinkle into this. Going to be very wild. But by the way, Sean Brightsman has caught Cole Raz here, Charles. And Raz is starting to slip and slide around here in the number 21. So Brightsman is there, and look out for Brightsman because we know how much speed he has in that number 46 on road courses, whether it's the super late models, cup cars, trucks, Xfinity cars. You know Sean Brightsman is going to be a factor in it. So can Brightsman pick up his second win in Northwest Tour competition? He has not won a race since season 2 at Richmond, all the way back in October of 2018 was the last time Brightsman visited Victory Lane in the Northwest Tour. Over 2 calendar years since Brightsman's won here in the Northwest Tour. No doubt looking for it tonight.
Yeah, everybody out there looking for it, and we'll see if he can get it. Again, he would love to if he could. It's just going to be a matter of hanging in there. And you can see I've been watching these cars for a little bit, and you watch the oval side of things, Greg, and watch how these cars on oval anyway. That front splitter just sucks to the ground. They're not doing it quite as much here. You'll see it gets a little bit low, but they're really right there. You see it get down when they hit the brakes. So it's just a totally different beast when it comes to these cars and setting them up for this track. As we're well aware, these are fixed setups. However, they are custom fixed setups. So my question is, how do you go about setting up a custom fixed setup when you don't have a whole lot of drivers that do it? It's going to make the race that much more interesting.
I believe that the drivers who specialize in road course racing in the series, I believe they put their heads together and said, hey, we're going to come up with a competitive road course setup. We're going to be the ones that have to do this. So I believe the drivers like BJ Tiderick, Sean Brightsman, and those guys, I believe those are the guys that really put in the hours, so to speak, as far as making this setup, as Brightsman goes to third in the number 46. And this was a point of conversation yesterday between drivers. A lot of drivers had not gotten a lot of practice time to settle things in and get themselves comfortable. So a lot of them requested an extra practice on Saturday, just yesterday, to get more time here in the late models, just to get themselves ready for it. It's going to be the exact same setup here at Limerock. This exact same setup is going to be what's used at Canadian Tire here in just about an hour or so. So there's going to be no changes to the setup. So drivers are going to have an idea of what the car is going to do. However, the track is going to be entirely different.
Yeah, it's going to be different. And just checking in on some chat is Shane Quinn out front. And look at this. I did not expect to see this, especially not 23 laps into the race already. But look at that. We have lap cars coming into play here. And it's not one or two, Greg. It is the whole back of the field right now. As Shane Quinn is coming by the 83, I believe that is. That is Chris White. Who is going to go a lap down. The next one on his list is going to be Ian Holloway and Thomas O'Hara, as well as Jason Day in the crosshairs as well. There's Dylan Huffines in front. So lap cars already starting to play a factor here for the leader. Could we see this be a factor that allows possible Chris Carroll to get the lead back, or possibly someone like Sean Brightsman, who we know is a master at getting around lap cars?
Oh, we'll see. I think what we're going to see is Brightsman really going to be able to close in on Carroll and Quinn respectively right now. As far as the top two, it all depends on where they're catching the traffic. And right now, seems like Quinn is doing a little bit better job of catching the traffic in good spots. Carroll not able to catch up to White yet, where Quinn is going to go around Huffines on the outside here. So Quinn's going to have a 2-car margin now over Chris Carroll and trying to get a third one. And he's going to get it as the 87 of Holloway goes off the track. Unfortunately for him, Carroll gets by, but Carroll the big slide in the number 97, and that is going to allow Sean Brightsman to close right in on last week's Snowball Derby winner, trying to go around the Iowa winner, Casey Garber, right now, who's a lap down. So Brightsman going to capitalize on those drivers for snakes. Remember, Caden Anderson said it in the pre-race that it was going to be capitalizing on others' mistakes here tonight, and Brightsman going to be able to do just that and go after Carroll right now in the 97.
As you look off the left rear of Carroll, you can see Brightsman right there behind him, looking to capitalize off of any mistakes made. The question is, is he going to make any more? So far, these front guys have been very limited on the mistakes they've made. And right there, Sean Brightsman gets a huge run, but still not quite enough to actually get up there to him. He's going to have to keep just pushing it, trucking forward, but I think Sean Brightsman's got a machine to do it, and who's happy to see all of this? Well, that's this guy right there, Shane Quinn. If those two can get together, start battling with each other, possibly go side by side a little bit, that's going to allow him to keep going forward. And he needs them to be battling because he's got his own battle right now going on and hands full with some of these lap cars. So he's not even battling for position, Greg, and he's having two battle drives. He would love to see them get side by side and scrub a little bit of speed.
And he has been able to open it up almost 4 seconds now over Chris Carroll. 3-time winner. One car going off the track. That may have been Dylan Huffines in the number 7. Just saw it out the tail end of the 4. You saw Dylan Huffines, I believe, just go for a ride here. And we'll see if we can send Wesley Allen, our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, down the Dylan Huffines pit. We already know how Garrett feels about road course. We'll see if Wesley can catch up with Dylan and see if the Huffines brothers are feeling identical about the road course here tonight, as Huffines lost a lot of ground in that number 7. He fell all the way back now in the clutches of Cole Raz in 4th.
And while he's looking down there for them, we got more battles all over this track. Been talking about the front a little bit. You got Ryan Gormley, BJ Tidrick back here. They were putting on a little bit of a battle here going on just a second ago. They've kind of settled that one out, but still there are battles going on throughout this entire track. Matt Hackathorn back here. Seth Brazier, someone we always talk about on the bigger tracks. Not so much tonight, as I believe Wesley is back with us.
I did, gentlemen. Grab a word with Dylan Huffines in the 7. A little, cosmetic damage and a little lipstick can't fix. But here's the thing. He's not going to be coming to the pits anytime soon. Says it's a little free off and tight coming off of going up the hills. I know it's a different way of describing it, but, going around the hills, going up the hills. It's really tight, loose going down the hills. And, again, once he can figure that out, he's going to have a chance to probably try to salvage some type of a finish. But right now, in the top 25. So a tough break there for Dylan Huffines. The Huffines family having problems as we are getting ready to approach halfway at Limerock.
And Greg, go ahead.
I was just going to say, picking up the battle for second, Chris Carroll is in the clutches of Sean Brightsman. It's a long way back to Cole Raz and a long way up to Shane Quinn. So we're watching this battle for second right now between Carroll and Brightsman. The best battle on the racetrack, the only battle for position on the racetrack right now, on the lead lap that is. And they are duking it out right now for the second spot. Carroll, last week's Snowball Derby winner, Northwest Snowball Derby winner, trying to hold on to second right now. Brightsman, he's hungry for a win. He has not won a race on the tour in over 2 years. He wants it tonight.
Yeah, and quickly point out, I just talked about Matt Hackathorn, who was about 12th to 15th, but not a good little battle. It wasn't for the lead, but it was a good battle. Well, unfortunately, he's down in 27th position. Potentially connection issues for him. He is out of the race. Very unfortunate for him, as he was having a solid top 15 run, but just cut short here tonight. We'll see if he makes it back into the race, but connection issues are really relevant right now due to all the crazy cold weather going around. Of course, it is winter, so it's unfortunate, but hopefully they'll be able to make it back here in a little bit.
And we have just got an update from Matt Hackathorn. It is not just a connection issue. It is a straight out power issue right now in the camp of the 84 car. Nick Bellamy pulling down pit road. We'll see if Wesley Allen can catch up with the 20 car Nick Bellamy. But for Hackathorn, it is a straight up power issue right now. So he has already said, I'm not even going to attempt Canadian Tire. I'm done for the night. Power issues are just too spotty right now with the harsh weather right now. He's located about 20 miles from my house right now. So he's experiencing the same weather that I am over here, but he's got a little bit more of a power issue right now. So while that also raises a little bit of an eyebrow here on my end, wondering when I'm going to start having those power issues, definitely a tough break for Hackathorn, because I know he was excited about Limerock.
Yeah, he's definitely excited about it, and with good reason. Again, road courses are different, but they can be really fun too. And this is why right here you put on really good battles, and it's just the excitement of I don't even know how to explain it, but I was watching a video the other day. We'll do this really quickly. Everybody knows who Kenny Wallace is, and he was talking about one of his buddies there that told him why we go on vacation. It's not the vacation; it's so you can look forward to coming back. I know, Greg, you've been on a vacation, and by you're halfway through or a little over, you're ready for your own bed again. That's kind of how road courses are. They're fun for a little bit, but then you're just over them by the time you get about 30, 40 laps into the race. So the excitement is there, but yet it may be wearing off for some of these guys right about now.
And unfortunately for those who may be feeling that, we have an entirely second race coming. Shane Quinn coming down pit road, the race leader of this race, coming down pit road for fuel. We're going to turn it down to our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, Wesley Outland, as Shane Quinn, race leader, coming down pit road for fuel.
Yeah, because turn announcer just ain't working here in the TV broadcast like it does on radio. Number 4 on the pit lane. They're going to take on a full tank of fuel. They're going to have to fill that car up to the brim, and they are. Wow, they're jacking the car up. They are jacking the car up. They might have had a tire down, gentlemen. I didn't think they could take on tires, but they're changing tires.
No tire limit here tonight.
And fuel. Do what?
No tire limit here tonight due to the road course.
No tire limit. Oh, they're getting pit stops. 4 tires and fuel. Here they come onto the pit lane, led by the leader, Quinn. The other car on pit lane, the 06, Josh Washington, he's on pit road. It'll be 4 tires and fuel. Isaiah Gill's on pit road in the 14. Brock Denny in 64 on pit road. Here comes Chris Carroll. He'll give up the number 2 position. Give the lead now to Sean Breitzman. And it's going to be clean off the grill, track bar and wedge, and 4 tires and a fill of tank on the Sunoco fuel for the 97 of Chris Carroll. Travis Barnes comes in. Gentlemen, right after halfway.
Yeah, and Greg, I want to point out real fast. Let's go back to Chris Carroll as he's jacking the car up. I like this car for Chris Carroll. Not only did he have his signature, you can't really see it, but it's on the top of the car there. He signed it on the bottom too. I like that. That's so you should know that just one signature on the car is not good enough. Let's put it on there twice.
Hey Charles, it reminds me of Caden Lapcevich car at the Snowball Derby last week in Florida.
You know what it reminds me of? I kind of had to do a double take at one point because I thought I was seeing it wrong. That almost reminds me of Dale Jr.'s AC Delco car in a way.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah, he's on the pit lane. And, gentlemen, here comes some more cars. Coming off of pit lane is the 97. And now more on the pit lane, including the 79. I thought he overshot his pit box there for a second. Gary Smith, Cole Raz is on pit lane. There he is, the 21 in the number 2 position, coming off of that truck win at Michigan on Thursday night. Remember, the Northwest iRacing Cup Series is back in action for the West Bay Napa Auto Parts playoffs. The Cups tomorrow night on LSR TV and CRN from Michigan virtually. 21, it's 4 tires, it's fuel. Filling up the tank, he'll only fall back to 7th, if that. Shane Quinn is now past him for 6th, and Gary Smith still on the pit lane. Bart Hector Jr. on pit lane. Jason Day gives up a top 10 run, gentlemen. He's on the pit lane as well.
And Greg, Luke is in 2nd place.
Look who's in the lead. We'll follow up on that in a moment because, Ellie Musgrave is in 2nd right now, having a great run. 9 years of sprint go-karting experience on the road course for Ellie Musgrave. That's coming into play tonight. Caden Anderson up to 3rd, but nice run for Musgrave into number 23. But, Charles, look who also is up front in the lead now.
Yeah, that 46 is Sean Breitzman. We knew he would get to the front, and again, not pitting for Sean Breitzman, that's not just because he just doesn't want to. I guarantee you he has got a strategy going on in that number 46 machine. The real question is, what is it? And something tells me he's not going to reveal what it is to us.
I was just going to get ready to say, a pit strategy race and Sean Breitzman's trying something different. I feel like we've seen that once or twice here on LSR TV in the past. You can catch possibly the next one because the Northwest Cup Series, a series in which Sean Breitzman's still trying to fight for a spot in the championship 4, is coming up here tomorrow night on LSR TV at 8:10 Pacific time p.m. Myself and Justin Prince will be on the call. Wesley Allen will be on pit road for that one as well. We know Sean Breitzman's not afraid.
You mean 11:10 Eastern time, okay, fella? That's 8 o'clock your time, Pacific.
Hey, you're over there on that other coast. You're on the other coast.
Hey, the sun sets before it does on the west and the east, okay, fella? And rises as well.
You want to debate that right now? What time does the sun go down?
Today the sun set at 5:23 p.m.
Wrong.
All right, we're close because today here the sun set at 4:10 p.m. So we're close.
I can't imagine 4 o'clock and the sun going down in my world at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
The sun set at like 7 o'clock tonight, so you're both wrong.
What are you talking about, Greg? Hey, Charles is the Central Time Zone guy, okay?
Yeah, Charles is in Texas. I just wanted to point that out. Charles, you said that the sun went down at 7 your time.
7 o'clock? What the?
So 5 our time. The sun went down in Washington before it went down in Texas.
I'm just gonna give full disclosure. I haven't been out of my house. I really don't know when it went down, so I was just throwing a random number out there. I really don't
Charles stepped out of his house because there's white fluffy stuff falling down, and Charles was from Texas. He don't know what to do when that happens. Us here in the Northwest, we know what to do. Stay inside when it's coming down and just let it all fall and deal with it later. So
see, I threw a guess at it and I got it right. So there you go. I'm good for something. But
I do, however, find it very crazy that tomorrow's forecast in Phoenix City, Alabama, where I am at right now, by the way, the sun will set. It's set at 5:10 today. 4:35 p.m. tomorrow. We got a problem, guys. Car off the pace. No, that's Ellie Musgrave. She's coming to the
Coming
pit
down the
lane.
pit. Yeah, she's
Number
coming for a pit
23.
stop.
You know, I keep thinking that's where people are crashing, hitting the wall, but that's the pit entrance. And boy, is it sharp.
No, see, Greg, this is where Wesley has been in NASCAR too long. We don't all hit stuff when they come down pit road like the
Speak for
17
yourself.
did.
Speak for
Who was that?
yourself.
Matt Kenseth, the 17 that ran into the sand barrels or whatever else.
Kenseth did it once.
Yes,
Robbie
Matt
Gordon
Kenseth
did it
one
once.
time. Robbie Gordon done it one time.
The
Casey
Spider-Man
Kane
car.
did
I
it one
remember that
time.
one.
Yeah,
See-
he's done it. Yeah.
Tony
So,
Stewart did it, but then again, he got put there by Brian Vickers.
Yeah, Brian did it intentionally. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
See, so he's been around NASCAR too long. These are short track cars here. We don't run into the pit entrance things like the NASCAR boys
I
do.
beg to
yourself.
differ. Beg to differ. I've seen it happen. The first ever Polar Bear 150 I announced at Rockingham on radio. Street stock driver, ARCA driver Brian Silas missed entering the pit lane and crashed into the sand barrel trap
It happens.
off on the retaining wall. Yeah.
I've done it. I did it at Oxford in a race. It
Hey,
happens.
Charles, can we talk about this new iRacing Super Speedway? Often we're on the road course topics tonight, but man, it looks like this new iRacing Super Speedway is going to be fun.
Yeah, that's a little fun. So here's what we're talking about here. NASCAR Racing 2003 season, the game from 2003 in which this game was based off. It runs on the same Papyrus game engine of
Papyrus.
NASCAR Racing 2003 season. So,
That's good fruit.
no. Anyway.
Go ahead, Greg.
I'm gonna just start. Someone start keeping track of how many times we have to just tell Wesley no. Anyway, moving forward.
That's
here
3.
with this one. Yeah, iRacing Super Speedway. One car off the track, right in front of your leader. It's Sean Brightsman. It's Bryce Beatty in the 07. He's able to get it back going. iRacing Super Speedway. Picture Homestead multiplied times 2. It's a 3-mile high bank super speedway. It was under a different name on NR 2003, and it was the intention to keep that same name. Unfortunately, due to some licensing issues, not able to call it by that name just yet. But with that said, we're hoping to have it back to its original name, which we can't say right now because we don't want to get in trouble. I'm just here so I don't get fined, and we're just trying to get it back together. But it's a 3-mile super speedway.
Wow.
Here on the iRacing Oval. Think giant Homestead, giant Bristol, giant Dover, but pavement, asphalt, not concrete like Bristol and Dover. But think that layout, 3 miles long. It's
Fun.
It's unique, and hopefully we get to go there on LSR TV once or twice or 10 times.
I am sure that Charles will put that together. That
Yes.
needs to be another 6 hours of Talladega. Hey, by the way, Charles, can I speak about that squirrel? Coming up this Saturday. It's Sunday because it's technically a new week. This Saturday, you and me are going to get up at the butt crack of dawn. Okay, can I say that? 6
did, so go
a.m.
with
your
it.
time
You
in
already
the
did,
Pacific.
so.
6 a.m. in the Pacific. 9 a.m. we go live, but we'll probably be on the air about 8:45 or so, 8:45 Eastern, 7:45 Central. Charles, get your 10 cups of coffee ready. I'll get my 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew or Pepsi, and we'll get the pizza and the chicken wings to make sure we don't burn our fingers. But yeah, 6 hours of Talladega. That's going to be fun.
By the way, Wesley, you're up to 12. Got someone in the chat counting. You're up to 12.
About what?
No.
Oh. Hey, can I say something else? Happy
13.
birthday to Big Bird!
Eric Jane, he celebrated his birthday on Friday, I believe it was, if I
Big
do
Big
recall.
Bird like 100 years old or something by now?
Ooh, now he's flying to Texas to have a discussion with you.
Anyways, I'm still waiting to see if Caden Anderson
14.
can catch up with Sean Brightsman. He hasn't been able to do it just yet, but look at the gap between Sean Brightsman and Caden Anderson. There is
Look
a
at Dylan
32
Huffines.
second.
Look at Dylan Huffines going off track once again in the number 7 car. Dylan's just going to want to park it and forget it by the end of this race. Sean Brightsman's up 30 plus seconds right now over
just a
the
dirt
rest
track
of the field. It's not
It's a dirt track thing.
It's not dirt track. We're not at Limeland.
I just wanted you to say no again. It's up 15. Hey, let's play a drinking game. Every time I say no at Canadian Tire, or you say no, or whatever.
We're a professional
we don't want-
broadcast company. We do not play drinking
Hey,
games on there.
Charles, do you realize that I'm sitting in the hotel room of the same place in a chair that's
boy.
similar to where I...
Oh boy.
Let's talk about something a little more relevant at the point, other than the fact he's going to break a chair probably.
I just thought about it. I'm sorry.
And that is the fact that only 2 drivers, Greg, have not pitted yet. Sean Brightsman along with BJ Tidrick. These 2 have not been down pit road, and I find that very interesting because of the fact we only have 20 laps to go. Do they have to pit? Can they make it?
Well,
I'll find out, guys. Give me a report.
all right, Wesley's going to go catch up with Tidrick and Brightsman. I'm not surprised Brightsman hasn't pitted yet. I am surprised on Tidrick. I'm wondering if Tidrick was kind of working with Sean Brightsman a little bit and talking to him, picking his brain a little bit, saying, hey, what are you planning on doing? I'm wondering if Tidrick is just trying something out here. Tidrick's not afraid to roll the dice. We've seen him do it on road course before in the Northwest Racing Series. So, I'm surprised, but I'm not, if that makes
Hey, guys,
sense. We'll see if
they're
Wesley has
both
it.
going to have to pit. They're going to have to pit. Sean Brightsman and BJ Tidrick both are saying they're going to have to pit. They just think it's going to be in the next 5 laps. But they're
see.
going to have to pit.
Watching for him in 5 laps. And here's the thing there, Charles, with Brightsman having a 30-plus second lead over Anderson, depending on how long it takes him to get off and on pit road, how much of an advantage are those tires going to be? And will he have enough time to slice through the field, depending on how big the margin is when he comes back out on the racetrack?
Yeah, I'm thinking he may have a good shot at this. He's got a 32-second lead. The pit stops have been taken around 30 seconds, 45 to 47 seconds on pit road. So I really do think he's got a good shot here. If he can get down pit road, make a flawless stop, get in, get out, and get back on the track with those fresh tires, I think it's going to make a pretty good difference. What he's got to run into as well, though, we have 19 laps to go. We have 15 minutes left in the race. So this race very well could end under time, not laps. So, he's got to watch both. He's got to watch that clock. He's got to watch the laps, and he has to watch the track and the cars to make sure he doesn't get into any trouble. So, that's all grand, but you only have 2 eyes to watch things, and he's going to be watching 3 or 4 different things to make sure he can make it. So we'll just have to wait and see if he can watch all of those and, not make any mistakes.
Remember, he's got a chance to build on whatever happens, whether he's able to make it work tonight or not. A chance to build moving on to Canadian Tire, because we have a second race coming up here. Just as soon as this one is over, they're saying about 10-15 minutes to travel here from Lakeview, Connecticut to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Boy, I want my hands on that machine. That could get me there. Oh, that could play a role too.
Oh, and it does.
Brightsman and Barnes get together. Lap traffic gets in the skirmish right in front of Brightsman, and Brightsman gets collected.
Yeah, and that's going to give him a little bit of damage. It was right in his door panel. It was a square-on hit, so if you look there, you don't see a lot of damage to the 46. I don't think it's going to hurt him, but it did cut into his time a little bit. Well, never mind. It didn't. He actually is still 33.6 seconds, almost 34 seconds ahead. And you can see right there, the tires are shot.
Oh,
wow.
Dylan Huffines
Dilly.
got where the track was and decided he wanted to go guardrailing. That must be a new sport that I'm not aware of, but man, that was a hard leg.
I think he was trying out the old Tony Hawk. Remember, Tony Hawk Pro Skater got remastered not so long. I think he was just trying to do some
grinding on the rails.
Yeah, some grinding on the guardrails there. I think he's been playing too much Tony Hawk here in the last week or so.
Well, we will tell Dylan Huffines, if you're out there listening, hopefully you're not, because you should be racing, but the way that car looks, he may be listening, but you do not want to play Tony Hawk while you're on this. You do not want to go grinding on the guardrails. That is a bad thing to do, but, again, we know Sean Brightsman coming in again.
There he goes again.
Dylan Huffines is not having the night, and he very well could be listening. We could have caused that one, but When are these top two going to come down? I just realized Caden Anderson hasn't been down either. So there's actually 3 drivers that have not been down to pit road. The question is, which one of them is going to have the advantage when they come out? I really do think it's going to be Sean Brightsman, though.
I think it's going to be Brightsman too, but that damage on the driver's side door of Brightsman is going to play a role in this now. And we're about 5 laps now after that pit report from Wesley Outland to where they said about 5 laps from now you can expect him on pit road. So with that being said, you can start keeping an eye out for the 46, the 72, and the 37 as well, because we got it confirmed.
Here they come.
Hitting
Caden
set.
Anderson on pit lane, ladies and gentlemen, like I predicted. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel. Caden Anderson was actually a driver I didn't even think about, but we're in that window where Brightsman and Tidrick are going to come down because Anderson is pretty much in the same boat. Strong car, looking good. There he is, pit stall 1. And now, uniquely, they go from the left side to the right side, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything as far as tires. They're just filling up the car, filling the car with fuel. No tires on the 4. Down and away is the 37 and back on track.
Interesting call. 14 seconds stop there for Caden Anderson. I did not expect him to come down and take no tires, Greg. That may be a game changer. We'll have to see, as he did he lost some time on the leader, but only about, I'd say about 8 seconds or so. So, again, I did not see that call coming.
And here's my question on this. If Brightsman does take 4 tires, now Anderson is going to be on old tires and Brightsman is going to be on very, very fresh tires. So Brightsman's job got a little bit easier if he takes tires, but I'm wondering now if they're going to be relaying to the driver of the 46, hey, Anderson took no tires. Wonder if Brightsman's crew is thinking about that. We know Brightsman's not afraid to roll the dice, so I wonder what they've got cooking in that 46 pit. Kind of excited to see it in the super late model. We see it twice a week in the Northwest Racing Series, but I'm excited to see what he's got cooking in the super late model. Because I believe Tidrick's coming.
And they have purposely said they purposely did not want to change tires. No tires on the 37.
Here they come.
Maybe it was an accident, but here they come behind them. Will it be no tires? Will it be 4 tires and fuel? I really don't know if that strategy was smartly done by Caden Anderson, but Caden Anderson is only in the top 10 in 9th. Where will Brightsman and the driver Tidrick end up? They're in their pit stall. We're kind of stuck behind the flag, man. Move, Barney. And I don't see any jack going up on the 46.
Neither one.
No fuel on Brightsman. Fuel only on Brightsman. No tires. Fuel only on Tidrick. No tires. This is a bold strategy, Greg and Charles. Let's see how it pays out.
Well, and Brightsman's going to come out still in the race lead in front of Shane Quinn. But here's my question. The tires. We know Quinn took 4. Brightsman took none. There's still a little bit of a gap. But with how many laps Quinn has turned on those tires, is there any advantage left in them, or have they hit the plateau?
I'm not sure what a plateau is.
Plateau. My bad.
Plateau. I know what that is.
It's the plateau.
Sorry, yes, we like to poke fun at each other, but from now on, it's going to be the plateau.
Plateau.
Anyway.
I could have said Play-Doh.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's the Play-Doh from now on, too.
Hey, guys, can I add something else as well? Here's the reason that people are asking, why did it take 13 seconds to fill up the car with no tires, just fuel? Because they do not use, like, the fuel cans virtually that you see on Cup cars or trucks or Xfinity or even ARCA. They use, like, short track gas cans. And in doing so, it takes a lot of time to fill the cars up, Charles.
Yeah, it definitely takes a little bit longer time to fill it up, so they do so. They come in, get a splash of fuel, and go. As right now, Bryson has a almost 3.5 second lead over Quinn. Carroll behind 14 second. Raz 20. Gill 27 seconds for your top 5. We have 11 laps to go and showing about 9 minutes left on the clock. So again, it's going to come very close as to how we do this, but based on the clock, if that clock is accurate, which I don't always go 100% by it, I think we're going to end this race on time, but it's going to be with probably about 1 lap to go.
We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll have to see.
It's going to be a close one for sure. 8 minutes, 10 laps to go. Running about 50-second laps here at the moment. Sorry, 51-second laps. So, yeah, it's going to be really close if we can do it. But, you know, I kind of feel bad for Caden Anderson. He had a fast machine, but has just not been able to get the lead back. He's sitting in 7th, still top 10,
this could be
though.
bad. Bart Ector Jr.! Oh, man. Right by Anderson, Bart Ector Jr., he went in the grass and was rocking and rolling towards the field. And I thought that when he got in the grass, it was going to be like an ice rink. And I don't know how he was able to keep that off of everybody because he had to lock it up right there. That was a scary moment for the field with Hector sliding through the grass like that.
Yeah, and that car not as pretty as it was when it got here earlier today, as he's taking a beating there. Luckily, we still have the LSR TV logo nice and clean on the rear bumper.
That is the goal, to have at least one clean LSR TV logo on board. Big thank you to Mike Wood for painting that car here for Bart Hector Jr. and several of the awesome looking race cars in this one. Here, paint courtesy of Mike Wood Mike Wood Race Designs. Caden Anderson's painted a couple cars in the field as well for his new endeavor. Caden Anderson paints, so a couple different options here for this one. Dylan Huffine's painted a few as well. So several drivers painting multiple cars in this race. Kind of neat to see these guys helping each other out like this.
Yeah, they definitely love helping each other out, and you know, that's one good thing about having a tight-knit community like they do here in the Northwest Tour. They don't allow anyone in outside of the Northwest. So there are a few exceptions, technically, if you used to live there and had to move off for work, stuff like that. But it is a very tight-knit community, and just like a tight-knit community, family, whatever you want to call it, you know, you still have your little tiffs and arguments with each other. As Brock Denny going to go off track, that's going to allow him to go a lap down as Sean Brightsman gets by him. But the closing stages of this race, and no surprise to see Brightsman out front.
Brightsman looking for his second career tour victory, has not won since Richmond back in season 2, but the all-time winningest driver of the Northwest Racing Series is off the track. Sean Brightsman got in the grass, and Shane Quinn is going to get the lead in that number 4 car. And with Brightsman on the tires he started on, Shane Quinn might have just been able to capitalize in the perfect spot right there.
Yeah, and that was not a little just off track incident. That was way off track. Back almost in the back 40s, he almost made it to the guardrail and out to the mids, and he is still struggling with that car. As you can see, Sean Brightsman getting loose coming out of the corner, and you get in that grass and dirt and grime back there. It's going to take you a good couple of corners to brush this stuff off the tires.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to fight that thing for the next couple of laps. Shane Quinn up to the lead down to number 4. Now for Brightsman, he's 1.3 seconds back of Quinn. So with that said, can Brightsman get back up there? Looks like he still has a lot of speed in it. And Quinn's locked in the battle right now with Bryce Beatty, who's a couple of laps down. Beatty's still trying to fight and get his lap back now, but Shane Quinn in the number 4 car suddenly finds himself in the race lead. Winner at Watkins Glen last year on the road course challenge. Brightsman, though, trying to reel him in for everything he's got. 6 laps to go, and this race just turned into a doozy.
Yeah, it definitely turned into a doozy and a fun race for sure. Again, the road courses tend to get a little spread out. You got 20 or 30 drivers in this race. That made it interesting to begin with, as there's a good car count. And that's, Greg, as you know as much as I do, when you have an oval league, especially a short track oval league, and you throw them into a road course, much less a double header road course, you tend to cut that field quite a bit smaller. Not the case here tonight, because keep in mind, this is 30 drivers. That's the 30 top qualifiers. There's still another lobby with roughly about 20 to 25 drivers in it as well. That is not being covered here on the channel.
Yeah, tonight we're doing it kind of like what iRacing Official does. We're doing top flight. We're covering the top flight of this one. The rest of the field went down into what we call split 2 here in the iRacing terms. Second split, if you will. That is what's going on with them. Full points available in that race still. So technically, we're going to have 4 different main event winners here tonight, getting full winning points here tonight. But Charles, Sean Brightsman did not let that affect him. He has already shaved off most of that lead on Shane Quinn. Just 4 laps to go, but he's got to find a way around Bryce Beatty and Shane Quinn to get the lead back.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get really tricky with 4 laps to go. If you're Shane Quinn, you are saying, all right, Bryce Beatty, hold him off. Just hold him back there. Don't let him pass you, because if he passes you, he's coming for me. But again, he's like you said, he's got way older tires. We have been racing here for currently 62 of the 65 laps. So those are 62 lap old tires. And for Shane Quinn, about half that, about 30. Oh, and second place gets tangled up in it.
What in the world just happened?
Are
Beatty's
you
on his
kidding
lid.
me?
Beatty is on his lid.
And that is
Win
Wow.
heavy damage.
Take a look here. We'll go about
Guys,
30
did you see
single
what
lap.
I saw from pit lane? Holy cow.
Watch this. Beatty trying to get his lap back here, going off into turn number 1.
And just clips him right there.
And Brightsman gets a piece of it, and it ends with Beatty on his lid after the contact from Denny. And Sean Brightsman gets the lead back, but that is by no means how he wanted it.
Yeah, that, and you know, bad goes to worse. If you're the 07 of Bryce Beatty, as you know, the tap out rule, there is no tapping out because it didn't cause a caution, but they still have to tap on it. We would imagine he would be credited with that. And yes, right there you see him dipping down to pit road, coming into pit road here to serve this drive-through penalty. That is considered your tap out. You get 2 of those per race. And he is not going to just drive through. It looks like he's just going to park it here for tonight. We'll see. No, he's taking tires in this. That, again, either he doesn't feel he was at fault for that or whatever reason, but coming down pit road and taking tires will not count as a tap out.
Now, that will not count as a tap on the 07. But he has yet to get rolling. I think he may have just pulled in and parked it for the day and just forgot to uncheck the tires on the 07. I think he may just be parking it for the night. As we're on the final lap, by the way, Charles, we have taken the white flag. We are at the CRN, 1 to go here on this one. And Sean Brightsman is leading the way right now. About 4 seconds over Shane Quinn, but man, that is not the way we expected this race to end.
No, and you know, we apologize to our sponsor. I'm sure he's listening somewhere. He didn't get that up there right as they crossed the line, but then again, there was a lot of chaos going on at that moment as well. But
You
Sean,
can put it up now.
well, we did, but Sean Brightsman out front, leading this thing, and he is pretty much set.
He's got
you
it.
see, he has got the win as he was about to put Ellie Musgrave another lap down. Sorry, no, he was going to put her a lap down. Only 9 cars on the lead lap. Ellie Musgrave a top 10 as she saves from going a lap down there thanks to the checkered flag.
Shane Quinn going to finish in second. Chris Carroll third. Marshall Peterson comes across the line in fourth. Nice run for him after starting second. Cole Raz will finish in 5th place. He just comes across the line now. Travis Barnes recovers for 6th. Caden Anderson. Oh, Anderson off the pace in the 37. Something happened to Caden Anderson, and that's going to cost him a spot as Isaiah Gill was able to get by. Anderson might be out of fuel, guys. Anderson's out of fuel.
He came in for a 14-second stop, a splash of fuel, and that was it.
And he's going to be the last car on the lead lap. Travis McKinney's going to help him back to the line, but Anderson is going to finish in 9th. The final car on the lead lap, Gill and Musgrave able to get by But Sean Brightsman has his second career victory here in the iRacing.com Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products, joined here by Shane Quinn. It's a ways back to Chris Carroll in the number 97, who he just came down pit road, so not going to get him for the picture. But Charles, we gotta do interviews quickly, so before we do that, let's get through our Sawblade.com unofficial results here from Limerock. Picking up the win tonight is Sean Brightsman in the number 46 with Shane Quinn in second. Heartbreaker for Quinn in the number 4. Chris Carroll going to be third. Marshall Peterson and Cole Raz round out your top 5. Travis Barnes, Isaiah Gill, Ellie Musgrave, Caden Anderson, BJ Tidrick, your top 10.
In 11th place through 20th, going to be Ryan Gormley, Seth Frazier, Thomas O'Hara, Josh Washington, Chris White, Gary Smith, Troy Tarbuck has a new name there, Brock Denny, Casey Garber, and Nick Bellamy.
Coming home is Ian Holloway in 21st. Matt Hackathorn, unfortunate because we knew how excited he was for this race. 22nd. Actually, excuse me, that was Matt Atkinson in 22nd. I saw Matt and Son, and my bad. He finishes 22nd. McKinney, 23rd. Bart Hector Jr., 24th, struggling on the road courses. Jason Day, Bryce Beatty, Dylan Huffines, Matt Hackathorn. There's Hackathorn in number 84. 28th, Josh Childress, Garrett Huffines, your 30 cars that took the green flag here tonight. Well, we're going to give a chance to finally thank some of our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll catch up with the top 3 here of race number 1 of the road course doubleheader live on LSR TV and Sierra Sports. A wild finish here to the first race of the road course doubleheader here at Limerock Motorsports Park. Sean Brightsman picks up his second career Northwest Tour victory, and no surprise it came on the road course with how dominant he's been in Northwest Racing Series competition here. But coming home in third, second straight podium for our Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby winner. Wesley Allen has caught up with third place, Chris Carroll.
As Charles says, Christmas Carol, getting ready for the holidays here, Christmas season. Chris Carroll, buddy, you'll settle for third here. Limerock did not disappoint. Pretty interesting race, especially that last lap. Talk about getting around, surviving the wreck, and getting third.
Well, I was just trying not to hit anybody and run a good, clean, solid race. I had nothing for the guys up front there. So you got to just take your points sometimes and do your thing and try and stay out of trouble. Those guys are wrecking, so I just decided to try and miss it. Best I could.
It was a good show, definitely. What do you take from Limerock here in race 1 from Limerock and prepare for Canadian Tire, which will be a totally different track, a totally different race course? But is there any similarities you can use for this next one?
Huge similarities. Just be smooth. Try not to do anything silly and beat yourself. If they're going to beat you, let them beat them, or let them beat you, but don't beat yourself.
All right, bud. Well, on the podium for third place. Chris, thank your sponsors. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys for putting this on. I got to thank A51 Pro and the A51 community. My parents are actually, I think, watching tonight, and my girlfriend. So have to thank them and all the guys that work hard to make our cars go fast here, and all those guys work really, really hard to give us a show, and you guys work really hard to put this on. So thank everybody.
And I have to say as well, we are a fan of your car number 97. It reminds me a lot of what Kaden Lapsevich had at the Snowball Derby last week in Pensacola.
Yeah, 10-4, the Canadian boy representing pretty well down there. Good job by him for sure.
There you go, and he's representing pretty well in the Northwest iRacing Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products, number 97. Chris Carroll, he's third on the podium, and out of the runner-up, Shane Quinn is with Charles Wooten.
And Shane, we got to ask those tough questions here for you. You had the lead going into the final few laps, and then the lap car getting in the way collects you. I believe it was Bryce Beatty gets to the inside, trying to get his lap back there, and just gets you. And then, of course, Sean hits you as well. Nowhere for him to go. If that hadn't happened, do you think you'd have to be sitting in victory lane here instead of one pedestal down?
Sorry, I had to push the button. But that's a good question. I was hoping to have a battle with him. I thought I had enough speed to make it really tough to get around me. But lap car with tires, and I'm on probably 20 lap old tires. And what do? You can hope someone will let 2 leaders that are, trying to battle for the win on the last couple laps. You'd hope a lap car would just let them go, but that wasn't the case this time. But it's okay. It's part of racing.
Well, sometimes lap cars help you, sometimes they don't. In this case, they kind of got you good there. But unfortunately, it happened, but still, fought back, got a second place finish. Obviously, we're road course, not a bad day for sure, considering all that happened. A lot of drivers going off course. You kept it clean all race up until getting caught up in someone else's mistake. But anyone on that car you need to thank for making it as fast as it is here tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna thank my fiance. She just brought me some dinner and a cold beer after that, and she's she's rooting me on, and she's letting me practice, and Mike Wood for the paint job, Vista Construction, Better Hall, Quinn's Property Management, and all the friends I do this with, and then Sean and Chris Carroll for being good competitors, and you guys.
All right, good. Congrats on the second place finish here tonight. And Greg, I do believe you've caught up with our race winner for the second time, I do believe, here in this entire tour's history of Sean Breitzman.
And Sean, it's been almost over, actually, 2 years since your win at Richmond back in season 2. Haven't been back to victory lane since then in the Northwest Tour, but a lot of people were thinking about it with how much success you've had in the Northwest Racing Series on the road course this year. When we got to making right turns here for this race tonight, a lot of people were thinking you were going to be a threat to win, and you went out and proved it right, man. Great run for you.
Thanks, Greg. It was a fun night. I didn't have a lot of practice here at Limerock, and so the race was a lot of practice.
And for just practicing throughout the race, tell us about that too. As you turn more laps and your confidence gets more and more, we could tell throughout the race you're getting more and more comfortable with it throughout the race. Was it kind of just like finding a rhythm and taking what you've learned in the Northwest Racing Series on the Cup side and the truck side and taking that and applying it to these super late models, or was it more or less an entire new experience?
More or less the same. It was applying everything I've done in the Cup and the Truck Series and the Northwest Racing Series, and applying it here to the Super Late, and kind of learning how this car brakes and how you downshift and everything. So I used that first part of that race and a little bit of the practice there to kind of figure it out, and I hopped on Shane's onboard in practice and watched him and kind of took some lesson, went to school, and it definitely paid off here for the Bright's Boutique Toyota Super Late model.
Well, you mentioned Bright's Boutique, your sponsor. We'll give you a chance to thank them in just a moment. But one more question. You got to head up and hit to Canadian Tire, where you swept the week in the Northwest Racing Series, winning both the truck race and end the Cup race here. So you gotta like what you're seeing here at Canadian Tire moving forward.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to see that we were going to Canadian Tire. I still have a lot to work through. I need some more laps there. My first laps were in qualifying, really, and again, it'll be a process through the 55 or 50 lap race. So we're going to try to get as comfortable as we can now that we've got some time under the seat or on the seat, and hopefully apply that and maybe try to get another top 3 at least. Hopefully.
All right, Sean, we're going to let you go hit the track at Canadian Tire for some practice, but a chance to thank your sponsors.
Just got a shout out to Bright's Boutique, custom handmade, hand painted, hand molded clay earrings, all this sort of thing. You can check them out at Etsy shop or etsy.com/shop/Bright's Boutique. Got to give it up to Pyrotech for sponsoring tonight's road course doubleheader. Joe's Racing Products, Northwest Racing Series, West Bay Auto, Central Welding Supply, LSR TV, and everybody at the Northwest Racing Series.
Winner at Limerock, getting set to go, turning loose a Canadian Tire, which he's had a lot of success at this year. Sean Brightsman here in the number 46. Congratulations.
Thank you, Greg.
And one more quick order of business before we move on to Canadian Tire, because we mentioned it a couple times throughout the race. We did have the 2 splits. We did have the second race going on. We just wanted to give a quick shout out to the podium in that one. Coming home in 3rd place was Briar Reynolds in the number 03. 2nd place was Mark Farrer. They were the only other 2 drivers that were not lapped by race winner of Flight 2, Dan Lowther in the number 63, picking up the win in the B main, if you will, at Limerock. But we are on to Canadian Tire. We're going to get ready for that race, so we're going to take a quick break, thank some of our partners of our own, and get set to turn them loose north of the border at Canadian Tire. You're watching the Pyrotech Road Course Doubleheader live on LSR TV and CRN Sports.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for race number 2 here on the Pyrotech Road Course doubleheader. Once again, joining me in the booth and in the production truck is Charles Wooten, executive producer at LSR TV, and once again down on pit road, Wesley Outland. He's going to be checking out the Castrol Tower up there, checking everything out up there. So, guys, we've gone from one to the other. It's time to turn them loose now north of the border at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
Oh, and it's going to be a good race here. This is a track we're a little more familiar with. And Jeff Stabnell is not racing, so we're not going to talk to him. However, as much as I would love to, I'd like to get his opinion on this track. But he's not racing. I know he's doing other things with Dan West Jr., probably practicing for tomorrow's race or the truck race. So we're not going to disturb him, but he is one for driver that is very familiar with this track.
Yeah, Jeff Stabnell, a lot of time in the Northwest Racing Series this year here, was in contention for both wins here at this racetrack, and it has been a very, very good season on the road courses for Stabnell as well. A guy who's self-proclaimed not good at road courses, yet seems like he's always strong here on the road courses, no doubt giving Brightsman some talking points as well. Two guys who have done very well in the Northwest Racing Series on the road course side. Speaking of the Northwest Racing Series, they're coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, hey, Greg, speaking of the Northwest Series again, part 2, I got all excited when Charles, said to get Jeff Stabnell and get his thoughts about Canadian Tire. Ask him about Monk's Corner. He's dirt track racing.
Well,
not available. I jumped the gun too early.
Well, I told y'all he was busy doing something. We weren't going to disturb him. I got
too excited and just started hop, skip, and jumping virtually on pit road.
Well, that's the first no for this race.
Phone call and no.
That's the first. Well, we'll just give him 10 no's for that one. They're going to advance it.
Hey, watch it.
Hey, we'll give you some extra no's just for that one because we knew that was coming. That was a pre-done no.
Extra no's?
I feel like extra no's does not lead extra pay.
I feel like Charles set Wesley up on that one on purpose.
He did. It's intentional. I'm gonna grab him anyway. I'm gonna ask him what's going on. I'm gonna bring him on because he's always the guy that's with famous Monk's Corner. You know that, right? That he does not like Monk's Corner. You know this.
Well, guys, we got a standing start for this one, so it's time for our ComServe Wireless starting lineup, and because they're getting set to go, Shane Quinn, after a heartbreak at Limerock just a moment ago, going to be leading them off from the green. Chris Carroll in second, Marshall Peterson, Nick Bellamy, Jason Day, Josh Washington, Casey Garber, Ryan Gormley, Ellie Musgrave, and Cole Raz, your top 10.
And it looks like the pace car's out, so we were told this was standing, but it's not.
They lied to us. They're liars.
We were bamboozled on that one. But the 79 of Gary Smith is going to be on row 6 of the outside. Going to be BJ Tidrick. Kind of digging the hairdo there for BJ Tidrick. We'll see if he reports on that one later. In the 07 to be Bryce Beatty, and the 46 of Sean Brightsman starting in 14th. Row 8 is going to be the 64 of Brock Denny and the 32 of Seth Frazier. Row 9 is going to be the 16 of Kelly Pointer and the 37 of Caden Anderson. And row 10, rounding out your top 20 here, is going to be Thomas O'Hara and the 83 of Chris White.
Starting 21st is Troy Tarbuck in the 04 with Travis McKinney in the 48. Jake Podan in the number 08, 23rd with Dan Lowther, winner of the second split here in the 63, 24th. Ian Holloway, Isaiah Gill, and Bart Hector Jr. are going to start shotgun on the field, as the field is indeed taking a pace lap. So we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived on what we were told was going to happen here for this race.
Yeah, they actually changed their mind at the last second, guys, is what we're being told. No standing start. The guys felt like it was better to have a rolling start, so that's what they're doing. But anyway, guys, I grabbed Jeff. Jeff has only 2 words for these drivers. Can you know what they are? Can you guess them?
Monk's Corner.
Fox Corner. That's what he said.
You didn't give me a chance to guess my answer.
Well,
That's a
Charles
no.
guessed it for you.
Yeah, but no. That's a no. Nothing. No.
That's a no.
Greg
Yes, you
said it first. You lost. You're second.
So we didn't know. The fans did not know his answer was right, and I didn't get a chance to answer. So that's
You
5
didn't hit the
no's.
buzzer. You didn't hit the little.
Let me cue up the Price is Right horn.
Exactly. Oh, and we're
All right, guys, have fun.
Yeah, we just got copyrighted.
Hey, I like the pace car. It looks really different.
Yeah, I wish you can use this pace car on oval tracks. I would use it every
Yes,
time.
you can.
I like this pace car. Actually, no, you cannot use this pace car. You can only use the
You can
Mustang.
only use it for you
or
only
the
use the
truck.
Mustang
Well,
and the truck. Yes.
You can only
Hey.
use you can only use this one on road course.
That's weird.
And,
They
and
used
this
to be
is
able
from
to.
somebody that doesn't have iRacing, and I know that. So.
No.
Oh, he just blew his cover.
That's
Okay,
5
for the
more
people that
no.
are watching for so long, can we let the cat out of the bag? We've been working together
We'll
since
have
May.
to do it in a minute
Yes,
because
here we go.
are going green. We'll explain after we do this green flag and we kick some asphalt north of the border at Canadian Tire. Back live here at Canadian Tire. Marshall Peterson to the inside of Shane Quinn. They touch going into turn number 1, but Peterson able to clear Quinn and settle things down, saying, hey, my apologies for that one there, Charles. But right before we took the green flag, Wesley kind of dropped a little bit of a bombshell on our viewers. Wesley, you got some splaining to do.
So here's the thing. I finally unveiled that I really do not have iRacing. So people are like probably just bumfoozled as we drop the green. Well, how does he call the race?
You're bumfoozled
But here we
by that
go.
word.
We have obviously our no, that's a real word. Okay, it's in Wesleyisms.
Bamboozled,
Okay?
Wesley.
Bamboozled. Yes, so bamboozled you. It's in Wesleyisms. But anyhow, you have to have copyright to look that up. Anyway, we use a software that our producer Charles does, which, by the way, I have to say the last couple of weeks it's been perfectly clear. Just blown away by that. But as Quinn leads them for the opening couple of laps here out in front over Peterson and Carroll, I have a software, and I go on that. We go on that for audio, obviously. We call that TeamSpeak. And then we have a video software called Discord. And Charles lets me see, privately what's on his computer, and we look at it, look at the screen, and he hides everything else, and yeah, we call the race. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Let me put that in simple terms. Wesley makes me and Charles do all the work.
Wait,
Quinn out to the lead.
How do I make you do all the work?
I had to
Like,
say it.
seriously, I prepare.
Oh yeah. How many cards are in this field?
SDK's not on.
Yes, it is.
27 cars in this field. We are off the
27
rails.
cars.
We are off the rails in a hurry. 26 are left in the field. Jason Day has parked it for the day. Actually, no, he did not take the green flag. So
He didn't take the green. He's a race director.
Oh yeah, yes he did. Jason Day he was in the top 5. Something happened to Jason Day. We'll see if Wesley can go down there and catch up with him because he was in 5th and he's done for the day.
I'm gonna find you, Jason.
That's a no. Anyway, Nick Bellamy sitting in fourth position right now, having a good run. And we'll kind of pick up where we left off in the last race there, Greg. Look, sitting in sixth place right now is Ellie Musgrave. Right behind her,
Jason Day
Cole
declined
Grass.
comment. Jason Day declined comment.
Interesting. So Jason Day not happy with something that happened in this race. But going back to what you were talking about there, Charles, Ellie Musgrave, yeah, great run. And that go-kart experience here on the road course that she has is really paying off for her in this one.
It definitely is. The question is, she always starts out strong and usually doesn't end as strong, but 90% of the time I would say it's just from getting caught up in messes, not necessarily of her own doing. So, that is the big key she's got to work on here tonight, is just staying clear of all the incidents on track, whether she, we won't lie, there's been a few she's initiated, and there's been quite a few she hasn't initiated as well. And that is a big key in racing, is just to keep your car clean. She's doing that right now. She's outrunning Cole Raz by just a little bit. Cole Raz, though, has Ryan Gormley all over his back bumper, trying to get that 44 by. And this is a good little battle going on right now for a 6th, 7th, and 8th. As meanwhile, the battle for the lead's still hot and heavy as well. It was about a 0.166 second lead. Now it's a 0.616 second lead. So that battle's starting to kind of fizzle out as quickly as it got there.
And Marshall Peterson took the lead away in the number 19 just as they crossed the line. So Peterson trying to get back up there. We haven't seen him all year, but here he is on the road courses leading the way. So throwing in a road course ringer here, if you will, here in the Northwest Tour. There are a couple of them. There are a couple guys who run on the Northwest Tour that do stand out in the road course racing and always put on pressure. The guy who normally we would talk about in this role is a guy who isn't here in the field tonight, but a guy who has been a huge part of the Northwest Tour, because he's a guy who put together probably 60 or 70% of these guys as sim rigs. We're talking about Andy Fuller, driver number 16, who's not here tonight in the Northwest Tour, not run this season, but he's kind of the computer guru of the Northwest, if you will, when it comes to iRacing, and he has put together countless sim rigs, including my own that I'm using here tonight. So Andy Fuller, a big thank you to everything that you've done for us here in the Northwest Racing Series, the Northwest Tour. A lot of guys go through Andy Fuller, and he's a road course guy. He spent a primary for much of his time in road course, and when he performed on road course in the Northwest Tour, was always a threat to win. I think his best finish was second multiple times to Jason Berg at Watkins Glen, who, by the way, Charles, I know you know the name Jason Berg. I heard a rumor that Berg is beginning to order a couple parts for a new sim rig.
Yeah, I know the name. Haven't seen it in a long time. So awesome to see if he's getting back into sim racing. Didn't even know he had gotten out of it there for a while. So it'd be awesome to see if he is. Not to plug my own business, but if he needs a computer, we can definitely, build him one, get him hooked up with a nice computer that will last him. But it would definitely be good to see Berg back on the sim, as we got problems for somebody, and that's Gary Smith in the 79 as he goes off track into the guardrail, but he gets it back going in that 79 machine.
That the winner at USA International, the season opener, but since then has had a couple good runs, but unfortunately the road course seems to bite him in this one. Jason Berg, we're talking about him, all-time winner in series history with 12. The next closest one is Seth Frazier with 4, and Caden Anderson tied Seth Frazier with his win at Oxford earlier this season. Another car out of the race, Bart Hector Jr. in the 82, and looks like something happened to him on the initial start, because he is just sitting on pit road in the number 82. No signs of movement from that number 82 car, so whatever happened with Hector, he has just elected to park it on pit road.
And I believe our pit road reporter, we may have to dock his pay here a little bit, as he has wandered up to the dirt racing lobby up there, where we're on road course. We're nowhere near dirt, so we may have to have a little leash on him. We're going to have to pull him a little closer. But, I wanted to mention this earlier. You said that Marshall Peterson not racing a whole lot, but here he is at the road course leading it. So if he wins this thing, does that mean this race was Marshall's Law?
Sure. We'll go with that.
There you go. And, we like to make little puns every once in a while, but Shane Quinn just not quite as fast at this one as he was during the last race. And I really do think Shane Quinn had a good chance at winning that race, but unfortunately, Bryce Beatty trying to get his lap back. We're not going to fault him for that. He was definitely trying to get his lap back, and that's what he needed to do. Maybe bad timing when he did it, but Shane Quinn definitely looking for a little bit of revenge, not on him, but just to get the win here in the second race.
Yeah, Shane Quinn looking for a bounce back and looking to move into a tie with Seth Frazier and Caden Anderson for second most wins on the series with 4 apiece. He won 3 of them last year. Road course at Watkins Glen. He won the Northwest Snowball Derby last year and then a win at Martinsville to round out his 3 victories on the year. So Shane Quinn looking for career win number 4 to match his car number, and he knew that the road course was going to likely be his best shot because we know he has a lot of speed in this number 4 car on the road courses. Not to take anything away from his oval side and the fact that he is a Snowball Derby winner in this series, and you're not going to win a 300 lap race if you're not good at it, but we know that Shane Quinn, he's at his best when we're on the road courses.
Yeah, you definitely got to be good to win a snowball derby, a virtual snowball derby, whether it be the real sanctioning one, the Northwest the snowball derby, 300 laps at that tiny of a track. You have got to be on your A game. And speaking of A game here,
Charles,
getting a little loose here, but they've had really clean racing so far.
Hey, Charles, I have a special announcement to make, buddy, and I've been asked to say this on behalf of Jeff Stabnow and John Ottenbacher as a witness. Jeff Stabnow just wanted me to let you know, Charles, that he beat Devin and Dan West on dirt tonight. History being made. Northwest guys.
Tell him on behalf of me, we're in the middle of a broadcast. We don't care about his dirt race. There you go. You can deliver that message. But anyway,
he's watching and listening.
Well, consider that message delivered.
Cole Raz, though, hanging in there as best he can. Ellie Musgrave has fallen a little bit, trying to figure out where she is on the track here at the moment. There she is. To 12th place, so falling back just a little bit. Greg, are we going to see what we saw in the last race? Are we going to see these drivers, come to the front, go to the back? And we saw a lot of fluctuation in that last race, and we're seeing that already early in this race where drivers up front are moving to the back, drivers in the back moving to the front. BJ Tidrick, one of those, he's moving forward as he got by Musgrave, and he's now into 11th, working his way up, and so is Chris White.
Yeah, Chris White's up 10 positions in the number 83, biggest mover of the race thus far. Actually, scratch that. That belongs to Caden Anderson, who's going for a slide off of turn number 1. Thomas O'Hara gets in the wall, so Caden Anderson is no longer the biggest mover of the race as he went for a big slide off of turn number 1. That title will now go to Chris White in the number 83, who we mentioned right there for SimStar Racing. Not the ride that Caden Anderson was looking for there off of turn number 1. But to answer your question, I think we are seeing more of the same because I'm watching the guys like Breitzman and Quinn, the guys who were fast in that first race, and watching these guys try to make their way up through the field. And you know who else I'm keeping an eye on? The second split winner of the Limerock race, Dan Lowther, won the B main, if you will, for the second split. Oh, and he's got issues right in front of him. The 04 of Troy Tarbuck noses it into the wall. Hard hit for Tarbuck in the 04. Kind of a Cale Yarborough Hardy's vibe a little bit there on that 04 car, but he's trying to get it going. But I'm watching Dan Lowther in the 63 winner of that race at Limerock, the second split, if you will. So he's getting a full point. He's getting a win in Northwest Tour points. Unfortunately, it wasn't telecast because it was going on at the exact same time as the top flight. But wow, Dan Lowther already now up 9 positions in the number 63, trying to make his way up and go after Kelly Pointer, who I believe this is Pointer's first time in an A main in the number 16 car.
Yeah, and another thing to point out, 11 laps in right now. We are fixing to, when we complete this lap, we are 1/5 done with this race already. Again, you break it up into 5th. We are just about done with 1/5 of it. Still Marshall Peterson out front. Again, this race being a lot cleaner than the last one. Of course, keep in mind there are 3 less drivers, so not a whole lot less in this one than there was the other one, but still much cleaner racing. But that also contributes to, as we'll go to the drone camera here, and not quite far enough out, but you can see when you scan through this field, look, there you go. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers. They're really not tightly bunched like they were in the last one. This is a good little battle going on here, though, between Anderson and Musgrave.
Yeah, Musgrave putting the pressure on. This is for 9th on the track, 10th on the track. Excuse me! And Musgrave gets into Anderson. But wow, nice job by Anderson to hold on to that. Musgrave will not have to tap for that because Anderson did not spin, did not lose a position. But wow, that was a nice move by Anderson to make that save.
And it makes you wonder which one of them is going to get the worst end of the deal here. It doesn't look like any damage on the front or the rear there. So that was a light enough tap that neither one of them really going to have any damage from it. That is good news, especially for Ellie Musgrave. Those shots like that, they can hurt the back of the car, but they can really hurt the radiator on the car behind and cause your temps to go up, stuff like that. Especially we're looking at this track temp right now at 96 degrees. It's only 79 out, so it would take a while to overheat, but it definitely could, but no damage there. But she's already back at it. Is Ryan Gormley going to go for a ride in the dirt?
Ryan Gormley mowing the grass. He was the winner at Laguna Seca last year, so not the title defense, if you will, that he wanted to start it off. Second in points last year, and that win at Laguna Seca played a huge role in that. Leading laps all season long, but that was the only time he visited victory lane in his Northwest Tour career. But boy, he has always had a lot of speed in the number 44 car. Right now, just trying to get himself back in winning ways right now. But he has fallen back to 12th. Seth Frazier trying to reel him in now in the number 32, trying to get rolling in the Charlie Brown Christmas LSR TV Chevy Camaro. Again, great shout to Mike Wood Race Designs for that one. Awesome job for Seth Frazier in the number 32, trying to just hold on to it right now. And Frazier's another one of those guys, Charles, who is not the biggest fan of road course, and he just kind of keeps his goal for these road course races as keeping on the racetrack.
Yeah, he definitely is. And, occasionally we are looking for some painters here, so we may have to get a hold of Mike Wood over there and see if he can't paint us up some LSR TV stuff. We got a lot of big things coming to LSR TV in 2021. One of those, of course, being we just got done with the Power Eye Midget Eye Nationals, and of course we're going to be picking up the NASRA Midget Series coming in 2021. A lot of big things, so make sure you check out NASRA Racing on Facebook, as well as Upper Edge Racing. We're going to be kicking off our own league. We just did part of it, and we've debated it, Greg, for quite some time, but Upper Edge only going to be doing big select events. So we're going to be hosting a lot of big events, and we just announced our newest one. It is going to be the Upper Edge Racing Big Block Invitational. We're going to invite 40 to 60 drivers of our choosing to run in a 500 to win, no entry fee race. So again, a lot of big things going on here for 2021 for LSR TV.
Well, I can already think of a couple Northwest drivers that I want in on that big block modified race. To try
I can already think of a couple of the broadcasters that want to do the big block modified race.
Oh, Wesley's back.
I can think of a couple of drivers, announcers, broadcasters that want to do the big block modified race.
I could too.
Yeah.
We roll down the backstretch. Marshall Peterson going to come off of turn number 4. Or, I'm sorry, that's the oval track in me. It's even a struggle for our us here in the tower when we're used to oval racing. That's not turn 4. That's like turn, I don't know, 12.
That's
How many turns
corner.
are there at this
That's
track?
Mock's corner.
Well, either way, what corner it is doesn't matter. Is Marshall Peterson doing a good job getting around it? As all those tires stacked up nice and pristine there. Nobody's gotten into them today, so far anyway. But Peterson, Quinn, Carroll, Bellamy, and Washington are your top 5 right now. And they're getting around this track really smooth. There's first place. Let's go back to second. And there's a huge gap there. Then you go back to Chris Carroll, who's another sizable gap. And then you go to Nick Bellamy as he goes out. Nick Bellamy just now coming in, and now you see Washington back there and Cole Raz coming into the picture. So we may have a battle here very soon, Greg, between Cole Raz and Josh Washington. That is one of the closest potential battles on the track right now, but Cole Raz has quite a bit of damage to the front of his machine, and I stand corrected, Sean Brightsman there as well.
Hey, Charles
Brightsman's
and
in that
Greg, I
too.
don't know if you realize this or not, but possibly on the chat, unless it's a joke, and if it is, it's a pretty sick one. The 4-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, 93 career wins from Vallejo, California. It could be Jeff Gordon that's watching this race.
I don't think that's him.
That is not Jeff Gordon. I can promise you right now that is not Jeff Gordon.
Okay, well, never mind. Fake news. We're used to that a lot lately.
That's 2.
That's like 15 for thinking that's a real Jeff Gordon.
But you never said no. You
No.
never said no. You just said, okay, that's true.
While Wesley thinks Jeff Gordon's randomly typing in chat right now.
Hey, let me tell you something smart, Alec. There has been broadcasts that I've done where real NASCAR drivers, celebrities have joined the races and chatted in chat boxes before.
That is true,
could happen.
but they
It
don't
could
have
happen.
they don't have slashes before their name. Anyway,
Greg, Charles blew his cover. It was him. It's him because he's bored out of his mind in the road course event.
what are you talking about? This is a great race.
Marshall Peterson's driving
yeah.
away with this one, but it's a battle back here. I'm loving this battle between Washington, Raz, and Brightsman. As Brightsman's gotten around Raz and is trying to set his sights on Brightsman. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Josh Washington in the last few weeks of this. He's got a B-League win as well. And a couple great finishes on the season here in the Northwest Tour. He has done a fantastic job. Spent a lot of time on the sim here over the course of the pandemic. So it has been a wild one here tonight for Washington. I'm very impressed with what he's been able to do.
Yeah, I'm very impressed as well. And again, we just talked. You just mentioned it. The battle's really not for the lead. There's a 4.5 second gap there. These battles going on in the back. And this is where you get into a tricky one here, Greg. These people that are putting on these battles back here between Travis McKinney, Brock Denny. Do you call these the back markers or not? Typically, these guys wouldn't be, as they got 2 going around there. That's going to be Casey Garber and Ryan Gormley. But are these guys the back markers, or are the back markers what you would consider that are in the other lobby? Because technically, if we had everybody in one lobby, these guys would be about midfield right now.
I consider these guys to be the guys who are wanting to get onto the oval next week and just put this road course in its rearview mirror. That's what I'm going to call these guys. They are not having a good time. As Denny with a big slide, I'm watching Brock Denny now in number 64, locked in the battle with McKinney and Gill. This is actually a pretty good battle between them for 15th position. Travis McKinney, Brock Denny, Isaiah Gill, and company back there. 3-car breakaway right now for 15th position. I'm liking this battle going on. And then Ian Holloway a bit back there as well.
Yeah, there's some really, really good battles, and we'll keep an eye on the front as well. We're not going to neglect that one, but again, these guys are back here in Holloway right there battling with the 96 of Casey Garber. Again, Casey Garber just went for a little bit of a ride, and he spins it back around, and it's Ian Holloway trying to get by him. So battles, no matter where you look on this track, whether it be the front, the back, the middle, they're everywhere. It's just a matter of finding them. And these guys are just, like you said, just trying to get through this as we're about to be on lap 20. We'll have about 35 laps to go. And that is 35 agonizing laps if you do not like road course racing.
Yeah, it can be a long night for these drivers. But remember, pit stops is going to come into play too here in this race. We saw it happen in Limerock, but the winner did manage to stay out as long as he could, that being Sean Brightsman in the number 46. Here's the question I have for you, Charles. What will the winning strategy be this time? We saw it work out for Brightsman, albeit he had some luck in the process, but what will it be this time that gets it done? Will it be the 4-tire pit stop, or will we see some guys try that same strategy, go as long as you can, and then just take fuel only?
Yeah, it very well could be. And we are getting reports. Ellie Musgrave, the issue there, internet issues strike another driver here in the series. So, you know, we mentioned it earlier, and it is a fact. Everything we do is, you know, digital, virtual, and unfortunately, stuff like that does play a factor into the race. So, it is unfortunate when it does happen. As Dan Lather going for a little spin there, but he keeps it going not too bad. But everything is subject to if your internet holds up. When you get in these crazy weather in the winter and you get that white fluffy stuff called snow and some ice and stuff like that, you know, bad things happen to internet.
Bad things happen, period, when you get the little white fluffy stuff that is a 4-letter word that starts with S that we do not say in the Northwest. That is considered a swear word, and you got to put a quarter in the swear jar when someone mutters that word here in the Northwest. And unfortunately, it's happening here right now, and it's affecting quite a few drivers in this race with connection issues. So not surprised at all to see it considering the weather. And unfortunately, it's something that we got to get used to because there's more coming tomorrow. So you can almost predict tomorrow's Northwest Cup race at Michigan is going to have some of the same issue.
Yeah, it definitely will. The good news for the Northwest Cup guys here is we'll quickly take a quick look at that real fast as you're watching this battle here between Dan Lowther and Brock Denny. And Denny, man, he is just all over the place right now. He has got that car going about as sideways as it can get without spinning out. And this series will be potentially doing roughly the same thing, but in the coming weeks, we have Michigan, then we have New Hampshire. We're off. So hopefully, if you're going to get any bad weather, it holds off for at least a week or two, because all these series will be taken off for Christmas and New Year's here in the coming weeks. So, you know, you cross your fingers and you say you hope you have a white Christmas, just not a white before Christmas. Unless you're Greg.
And,
you don't want a white
Charles, what are we going to do with ourselves, Greg? Being off for 3 weeks.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to lay down, sleep, and watch TV.
I'll probably find a race or somewhere to go.
And we're just going to go use our fun funds, as I like to call them. And we're going to go put up races until the internet goes out, or till whatever. I don't know. We'll do something. We always have something to do around here.
Hey, guys, I got to run something by you. How excited would it be for the Northwest Tour to create a dirt series? Ooh.
That's more, I think that's more Northwest Racing Series territory there.
Yeah,
I
like
think that's
the
more on
Cup
them.
guys, but they created a dirt series.
I think that's more them.
I think it's a good time for us to give him a no. Yeah, but
why do you say no, Charles? You like dirt. Come on now. Quit being in denial.
Because that's the name of the game today. You tell Leslie no. Aunt Kathy's keeping track. I know she has to be. But any...
well, the 15s and the 20s and all that other stuff, that don't count.
It does now.
Okay? And when I say no on my own, no doesn't count either. Okay, no.
Greg, I don't even know what to say to him. We're just saying no. Anyway, Sean Brightsman doing a fantastic job. Right now, he's in the 5th position. But, you know, you look at your top 4 right now, really top 5, but mostly top 4. They haven't really changed since the start of this race, Greg. So I'm interested to see when pit stops happen how much is that going to shake this race up? And I would imagine pit stops will probably happen here in about 10 laps, maybe less. I believe it's about 35 laps on the tank of fuel. So 5 laps and we should see pit stops roughly coming in. How much is that going to shake up the running order in this race? And do you think Sean Brightsman is going to do his signature, well, I'll just stay out until I absolutely have to come down and can't run this thing anymore?
That's a yes on Brightsman. Or maybe not, because he's off the track in the number 46 going off in the gravel and going for a slide. Josh Washington's going to get back around him. I was watching Brightsman when you were talking about that because I was going to bring him up whether you did or not. I was going to be like, well, we know what Brightsman's going to do. Maybe not, though, because now he's got gravel on his tires. So not sure what's going to happen. That cost him a spot. The winner at Limerock just a few moments ago, trying to back it up here with a win, or at least the top 5 at Canadian Tire, but now work to do. Marshall Peterson driving away, though, in the number 19. Very impressed with what he's been able to do thus far.
Yeah, these guys are just, they're showing their strong points. Excuse me. Here tonight, as they're just drivers you might not normally see at the front. You're seeing here tonight. When, a driver we talk about a little bit. We've never really talked about him out front leading a race. He did that in the last one. He's doing it here tonight, running in second place. Chris Carroll running in third place. Nick Bellamy, we talk about him quite a bit. Josh Washington, I remember talking about him here or there, not necessarily talking about him running in the top 5 right now. That's what he's doing in 5th place. And we'll see if Brightsman can catch him. The ones that I'm surprised we haven't seen get into the top 3 yet are Anderson, Raz, White's making a move up there, BJ Tidrick, Seth Frazier. These guys, those are some of your front runners on oval. They're admired about midfield right now. They just haven't been able to get to the front.
Trying to make their way through the field right now, all chasing Marshall Peterson. But the guys I'm going to keep my eye on, we mentioned Brightsman, Cole Raz, Caden Anderson, those guys keeping my eyes on. But I'm also watching Dan Lowther in the number 63. Led, almost 30 laps in that race at Limerock that we did not stream. We got the stats of it just after the finish of our race, so was able to get a rundown of it. He had a great run in the number 63 car, so he's up 11 spots now, trying to reel in Isaiah Gill, but he's almost a full minute. He's actually over a full minute back of Marshall Peterson right now. Good news is they're turning minute 19 laps, so still plenty of time for Dan Lowther to try to get up there on pit road as Brock Denny goes off-roading behind him in the 64 Tucker Dog Special, gets into the tires and gets it going. But wow, wild night for Denny in the 64. By the way, we did lose another driver. Ryan Gormley, the 44, has parked it for the night as well.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate when you see these drivers having to park it early on in the race. And I say early very loosely, as we're about 25 in of 55. We are closing in on the halfway points very quickly here, as this is another battle, one of the best battles on the track right now, between Travis McKinney and Casey Garber, between that 48 and the 96. And it looks like the 96 of Casey Garber is going to make the pass, but he couldn't quite complete it. Now he's on the outside, as this gets tricky, Greg. And we again don't do a whole lot of road courses, especially not for the tour. Is you go to set up to make a perfect pass on the inside, it doesn't work. Well, unlike the oval side of things, where you can continue making that, then you may go to a right-handed turn and you're completely on the opposite side to make the pass.
That's the matter of road course. It's all about passing zones. You talk about passing zones a lot, and where is going to be the spot to make your move, and trying to find the right spot to make a pass. And for some guys, there may only be one specific spot that they feel comfortable making the pass. So unfortunately for them, if they miss it on one turn, they may not get another shot for another minute and a half almost before they make the pass. And yes, that's only one lap, but that'll wear you out, just spending a minute 20 trying to chase a guy to take one shot at him for a pass and then come up dry. Now you gotta wait an entire lap again, as Brightsman has another issue in the same spot, and this time he got the wall in the 63 car. And I would hazard to say that could be a day ender for Sean Brightsman. He's going to be able to keep going, but I don't see him coming back from that one. That was a big slide.
Yeah, and those are the ones you don't want to do for sure. And again, it's just a tough deal here, even for seasoned veterans out of here on the road course. So Canadian Tire, it's a tough track. It can get the best drivers. It can get the I won't say worst drivers, but it can get any skill level. It can just make their day just 10 times worse than it already was. We'll just have to wait and see, but look how close Chris White is to Sean Brightsman now. Both of them have a little bit of damage, but he's right there with him, and Chris White looking to take that sixth position away.
Trying to reel back in on Washington, but Chris White's right there behind him in the 83 trying to reel in. Then you find BJ Tidrick in the number 72 trying to gather it up, but he has a lot of left front damage in the number 72, so he's just trying to keep it clean right now in the number 72, try to get as much track position as he can, getting ready for pit stops. The pit window's coming up here before we know it. It's going to be getting ready to start. Matter of fact, I believe it has started, as I believe Bryce Beatty coming out of pit road right now in the number 07.
It has on pit lane. Bryce Beatty hopefully having a little better luck than what he had at the race at Limerock Park. Right now he sits on the racetrack. He's going to pit. Also a driver I just checked on with the crew for Peterson, and they are saying he's going to pit in the next 3 laps. So we have the cycle of green flag pit stops underway with Bellamy on pit lane now, giving up the top 5. He'll pit. So will Gill. So will some other drivers. And pit is about to become interesting here, gentlemen. Again, Peterson saying he's going to pit within the next 3 laps. Keep an eye on the leader in the 19.
Peterson having a breakout performance, if you will, in that number 19 car, just trying to hold on, get ready for pit stops, and hopefully make it work. But here's the thing, we know there's going to be drivers on different strategies. Sean Brightsman is on pit road, actually. Was just getting ready to say, Brightsman's going to go as long as he can, but he's doing different this time with how this race has gone. He's getting tires now in that number 46 car. He's going to be rolling away here momentarily. Brightsman not having the night that he wanted for sure.
No, definitely not the night for Sean Brightsman of the 46 machine. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel. Unlimited tires because we're road course racing. Road course, yeah, Aunt Kathy. Instead of truck, yeah, Thursday. 4 tires and fuel up the tanks. And again, we'll see the 19 continue to lead Peterson. He's supposed to be pitting here any minute, guys. And we'll see this cycle of green flag pit stops. And they're also saying 1 pit stop, Charles, and they believe they can go to the checkered flag.
Yeah, no surprise there. 1 pit stop for these guys. 1 pit stop in the last race, as we are exactly at the halfway point. 28 down, or will be 27 down, 28 to go at the halfway point. So, Greg, there's one thing to do when we reach the halfway point.
You got to do a little side-by-side?
I believe it is time.
Come by. We're going to reach the halfway point. We're going to go side by side on LSR TV as they come off of turn number 4. You won't miss a thing, and we'll be back here for the second half here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing and CRN Sports Radio for the Pyrotech Road Course doubleheader.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything, hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you can just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything, we don't Photoshop anything onto it, onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and you know, they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, just it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum, you know, requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees.yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Back live here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, where the race leader, Marshall Peterson, has just ducked down pit road for his 4 tires and fuel. Wesley, you called it. He came down about 3 laps after you did. So, with this multi-strategy, what are you thinking you're going to see on pit road for the remainder of this?
Yeah, just after halfway, guys, and it is Peterson, 4 tires and fuel. And how about this as well? He'll stay in the number 1 position. He came in as the leader. He'll exit as the leader. And this dominating performance by Peterson continues for him in the 19. 4 tires, filled up the tanks. He is looking strong, looking to probably dominate here at CA Tire Motorsports Park. What a run here for Peterson, but I gotta say again, he's right there at it. Watch out for Mock's Corner. That's a tricky one. Gentlemen, we did races with other Northwest drivers, like our good friend Jeff Stabnow from Montana, and every time he ran here at Canadian Tire, though he won, he had 4 or 5 battles against Mock's Corner.
That is the trickiest part of the racetrack here at Canadian Tire. It's just such a crazy racetrack, Wesley, that even the drivers who do the best and the guys who have an incredible performance, they all have that one part of the racetrack that bites them. And we've seen Sean Brightsman get in a couple fights with it as well. By the way, Marshall Peterson made the pit stop. He did not lose the lead in the number 19. As a matter of fact, he gained ground. So this is going to be a wild one for Peterson, because he went from about 5 seconds ahead when he came down pit road to now 9 seconds ahead on the racetrack. So Peterson, he's sitting very pretty right now with 25 to go.
Yeah, he's sitting really good in good position. Shane Quinn, you know, again, looking to come back, you know. If he finishes second, he can't complain too much. It's a good finishing position, but to go 2 in a row in second place, especially when you know you had a car to win in the first one, has got to be disappointing. Because we all know that with the tires that Sean Brightsman had, he did not take any. Shane Quinn had 32 lap fresher tires. He was basically in golden territory. Again, Bryce Beatty just trying to get his lap back, collected him in an incident, and unfortunate for Shane Quinn, just didn't work out for him to get the win. He's really looking to try to get it this time. He's pushing it for everything he has, getting around these corners, but with little efforts, or not effort, little going anywhere. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. He's not going anywhere. He's actually losing time. So Marshall Peterson is just on a rail here tonight.
Travis McKinney's on a slide, and the number 48 behind him, he went for a ride off of turn number 1, kind of nosed down towards the wall, but did not suffer any damage on the number 48. Nice recovery for him. He will still sit in the 12th position, 1 lap down. Actually, looks like he will be in 13th, because I believe Brock Denny got around him, and Casey Garber did as well. So a couple drivers were able to get past McKinney, so he will sit in 14th. Once that's all said and done with this one. And much like what we saw at Limerock, we're down to about 11 cars on the lead lap. Peterson, Quinn, Carroll, 2 drivers from your top 3 are in the top 3 once again. Then Nick Bellamy, who's having a great run in the number 20 car. Josh Washington, Caden Anderson, Cole Raz, Sean Brightsman, your winner from Limerock in 8th. BJ Titterick, Chris White, and Seth Frazier, the last car on the lead lap. And for Frazier to be able to finish on the lead lap would be big here in this one. because he would be very relieved because he's not a road course racer. He'll tell you that in the number 32, not a road course racer. So for him to be on the lead lap here, past halfway, is going to feel very good for him.
Yeah, it's got to be really good. You can dominate when you're really good at a track and, show everyone, look, I'm the king of this castle. As the 48 gonna go off and let the leader by almost into the wall. He did get in the grass, but you can show somebody, look, I'm the king of the castle when it's your favorite track. But when you go to a track where it's not your favorite track and you put on a top 3 finish or a win, it sends a message to your fellow competitors and the competition out there that look, I'm stepping up my game. I'm good even where I'm not supposed to be. And, that'll send a message, look, I'm a force to be reckoned with to your competition.
Yeah, definitely. To be able to go out and do that at a track that you're not necessarily great at, it's got to feel good for some of these guys, not just Frazier, but for the guys like Chris White, who's trying to make a statement here in this series in the number 83 to get a top 10. It would be his first career top 10 on the series. You got guys like Caden Anderson, Cole Raz, Josh Washington, Nick Bellamy, guys who are looking to make a stamp on the series. For Anderson, it's more or less make a stamp that, hey, I can do this on the road course. We know he's good at ovals. He's got 4 wins on the series. But for a guy like Washington, a couple of top 5s in a row here, but hasn't had a lot of road course experience. If he can come away with a top 5, that'd be huge for the driver of the 06. Nick Bellamy, winner at North Wilkesboro earlier this season. His car is still pretty clean on the number 20 car past halfway. That in itself is a win if you're a driver and you keep your car clean for a 55 lap race at Canadian Tire. Nick Bellamy is almost 2/3 of the way to doing that right now in that number 20 car. He might just be looking for a good points night, trying to stay clean in the number 20. As for the rest of the field, they're right now just trying to survive. But for these guys up front looking to make a statement, it's going to be very nice for him.
Yeah, he's making a good statement. And this Anderson goes around. Not good for Caden Anderson. Is he was looking to have a good run, putting on a top 10, and that's going to hurt his scenario. There's we'll take a quick replay here to look at this and see exactly what happened, and just goes off the track, overshoots it. And not sure how he officially got turned around, and just right there, just hammers the outside wall.
That was just trying to get himself going again, and wasn't quite didn't quite have all the cobwebs shaken off in the number 37. His teammate Cole Raz is able to benefit from that and get this spot in the number 21. We talk about Cole Raz a bit on the Northwest Racing Series. He lives in Lake Oswego, Oregon, but his team is based out of Tucson, Arizona. So yes, he spends most of his time racing in the Southwest, but he lives in Lake Oswego, Oregon. Therefore, he is eligible for the Northwest Tour because he resides in Oregon. And no doubt he is very excited to be a part of this tour this year, shown a lot of speed, not just in the tour, but in the Northwest Racing Series as well. Just picked up his first Northwest truck win on Thursday night at Michigan, and is looking to keep that momentum going with a win tomorrow in the Cup Series at Michigan, as there's a car off the track up in front of him. Didn't see who it was. Thought I saw a red car up there off the racetrack. Cole Raz, another one of those guys, up-and-coming star. Isaiah Gill going around in the number 14. And Cole Raz is a guy who has won on the B-League in the past. He won at Iowa in the Pro Late Models League. So a couple wins in Northwest competition for Cole Raz here on iRacing. Looking very much forward to seeing what he can do for a full season here on the tour, and to see what he can do in the Northwest Racing Series next year.
Yeah, again, the competition level in this league is just outstanding. I haven't mentioned it in a couple of weeks, but Greg, you told us do this. You wanted us to cover it, and we're like, okay, we'll do it. And you're always hesitant. We knew there'd be good drivers in it because there's good drivers in the Northwest Racing Series as well. But this is a series that by no means has not disappointed at all, and the competition level here is outstanding. They put on an amazing show every single week, And these drivers definitely do not disappoint. I know the fans out there love watching. We love watching and calling these races, but you got somebody a little slow there, and they're on pit road. That's a good view. Let's look at the wall. Who is it? That's a very tough call. Can't hardly see.
Yeah, that is Cole Raz in the number 21 coming down. We were just talking about him for his pit stop. Yeah, you can barely see the yellow numbers there on the red car.
Yeah. Here comes Raz, Cole Raz, and off of that win at Michigan in the trucks for the West Bay Napa Auto Parts playoffs. By the way, the Cup cars will be at Michigan tomorrow night. And it's going to be 4 tires, fuel. Actually, I don't think he took on any tires, guys. He just filled up the tank. He's trying to do strategy like Brightsman and those other guys did earlier, the race at Limerock.
Of different
Whoa,
strategies.
did you see that right in front of them, right in front of Raz? Did you guys can see that? 48.
Travis McKinney, he had another issue in that same spot on the racetrack a moment ago. Get turned around. Oh, he noses it into the wall.
Well, that is insult to injury when he gets into the wall and then gets into it again. As he's going to have to back it up, and that is going to cost him a lot of time. Although it's not going to matter. He's a lap down now, so...
Hey, Charles, back to the replay, bud. I think that's worth a swag instant replay. Watch the 21 of Cole Raz when he came off the pit lane. Look at how close this was right here. Well, that's the second time he hit the wall.
All right, here we go. This is off the final turn.
Watch this. And watch the 21 come at him.
There's Raz. Yo! Nice job by
Save of the night,
Raz,
maybe save of the season right there.
Nicely done by Raz to get through that. Meanwhile, up front, Marshall Peterson, you're not missing a thing. He's opened it up almost 10 seconds now over Shane Quinn. And right now, Marshall Peterson's on cruise control, just trying to get himself career win number 1 here in this one.
Yeah, again, that first win is special. We like talking to those drivers when they get that win. The question is, it's your first win. Yeah, I love asking them, does it make it any special or more special? That's the word. When it's a road course like this, these are tough tracks to win, especially when it maybe not be your forte, not something you're necessarily the best at. He very well may be. Again, we don't talk to him a whole lot. We don't get to see him a whole lot. So, I won't call him a road course ringer, but that very well could be, his forte is the road course racing.
It very well could be. We'll have to do some research on Marshall Peterson and see if that is indeed the case. Coming up on Caden Anderson to try to put him a lap down now in the number 37, who's had not quite the night that he wanted at Canadian Tire. And you knew he said in his interview at Limerock that he was a little bit worried about Canadian Tire, and unfortunately it did live up to what he was worried about, because now he's having the issues in that number 37 trying to hold on for the lead lap.
Yeah, he is the tail end of the lead lap, and excuse me, last race we had 9 cars on the lead lap. That's currently what's on the lead lap right now, but that is going to be changing here very shortly with Caden Anderson going to go lap down as we have 17 laps to go. We very well could see maybe only 4 or 5 cars on the lead lap when it's all said and done. It really just depends on how quickly Caden Anderson gets put a lap down from Marshall Peterson, and how quick he is to catch anybody else to go a lap down. Right now it doesn't look like there's anybody in front of him, so it should be smooth sailing. So he really just wants to get by Anderson, and he's going to do that right here and say see you later. He's going to check out and just keep moving forward.
17 laps to go for Marshall Peterson, going to be 16 when he crosses the line this time. Big slide out of Peterson. 8 cars now on the lead lap. It's about 6 seconds up to the next car, which will be Chris White, who's locked in the battle with BJ Titterick right now for 7th. That's the best battle on the racetrack right now. That and the battle for 4th is heated up and has cooled off as Josh Washington has gotten around Nick Bellamy for that 4th spot. So now we go back to Chris White and BJ Titterick for 7th right now. Final 2 cars on the lead lap, and the leader beginning to hound him.
Yeah, look at this. This is whether it's for position or not, these are some good battles going on here. Nick Bellamy right there. You have Sean Brightsman again. There's Bellamy. Sean Brightsman is back here. That's not a battle going on as much as this one right back in here with Nick Bellamy. And again, there's two distinct battles I like to refer to on a track. As we'll go back to the 48 of Travis McKinney and this battle right here between the 87. And technically, this actually is a battle for position. But to my point, you have battles on tracks. This is a battle for position between the 48 McKinney and the 87 of Holloway. There's also just real estate battles that are going on the track. Whether it's a lap car and a lead lap car, they're not battling for position, but they are battling for that real estate on the track to see who is going to be where. And those are the worst battles if you're a lead lap car and you're trying to get around a lap car when you're just battling for real estate on the track and not for an actual position.
Yeah, the battles like this for position we love, but unfortunately we saw that come into play at the end of the Limerock race. It was definitely unfortunate the way that race turned out. Try to wheel our way through right now and just close this race out. Here in this one, got checking in with Marshall Peterson. We got 15 laps to go for the number 19 of Peterson, and he's got a little over 9 seconds. Quinn has shaved about a second off in the number 4, but that may be because Peterson might just be saving his tires a little bit and just trying to settle things down for the rest of the race, as it's still a long way back to Quinn. He's got to start going. He's going to have to get just a little under a second a lap to be able to make this work.
Yeah, and there you see Ian Holloway in the 87 machine. He gets by Travis McKinney, puts him one position back from where he was. And man, everyone getting loose coming out of that corner as they go through the start-finish line. But some good stuff going on. And there's BJ Tidrick. He was in the top 10 position. He is having problems here tonight now.
Problems for the number 72 of Tidrick, and he's the kind of the mastermind behind the road course weekend. He's the one who really advocates for road course, and he spends a lot of time racing road course here on the iRacing server. He was battling with Chris White for position. Jake Podan right there in the 08 right there. Podan's just trying to get out of the way. Does, and Tidrick, you know what I think happened there? I think Tidrick kind of got out of his preferred line. He had to take the higher line to try to get around Podan, who was giving him room up there. Unfortunately, there's only so much room you can give in that situation. And unfortunately, I think Tidrick just got up in a spot that he couldn't hang on to it there.
Yeah, and this is what I want to see here with the 72. I'm going to hang with BJ Tidrick for a while because we haven't got to see this a whole lot here tonight about that tap out rule. There wasn't a caution. However, he did spin and he did collect the 8 car, even though he was a lap down. So will BJ Tidrick be required to do a drive-through penalty on pit road and essentially, claim this caution and tap out for it? Because 2 cars were involved, although he initially spun himself.
So it's kind of, again, your discretion on that one. And I think he just is going to stay out there right now on the 72 because I think he's just rolling with it here for the time being. Again, they're all going to go here to review in this one. Oh, Tidrick again. Big slide, going for a ride.
Yeah, and it's not gonna matter. He couldn't have taken tires. He said you might as well, I would have possibly tapped on it and just came down anyway. But even if he did, he couldn't take tires. Then he's gonna lose at least probably a lap or 2 laps, as he's already a lap down. So it's unfortunate, but definitely not the night BJ Tidrick wanted. Always a contender wherever he goes in, just not being one here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunate. The guy who really was advocating for the road course is not having the second race they wanted. They had a pretty good race at Limerock, but unfortunately it just doesn't end up here at Canadian Tire the way he wanted. But the guy who is having a good run at the Canadian Tire here is Marshall Peterson, who's coming around to complete another lap to put 43 in the books. Begin lap 44, 12 laps to go. here in this one, and Marshall Peterson is wheeling and dealing right now. It's back up almost 10 seconds, over 10 seconds now to Shane Quinn in the number 4. So Peterson is on a rail on the number 19, looking for a career win number 1.
Yeah, Peterson has just been on a rail all night long. He's pretty much been out front for this entire thing, and it's crazy to think, Greg. We've been on air for almost going on 3 hours now for this double header. And of course, we are now at 12 laps to go. Going to be 11 laps to go when Peterson gets to the line. So just about 10 to go here. And these guys have been racing or, getting ready to race for about, just about 15 minutes short of 3 hours here tonight.
A long night here of turning right and left, and that's probably why we only do this one night a year, because these guys, when they're done with this, they're like, okay, that's my one road course race for the year. I'm done. See you next December for season 5 of the Northwest Tour. As Peterson continues to wheel and deal right now, a lot of these guys who are finding that, hey, they might be good at road course, guys like Carroll, Bellamy, Washington, I wonder if we might see them in the official servers begin running a couple more road course races here and there, thinking, hey, I might be able to make this happen.
Yeah, they very well could. Again, you never know who's going to be up front in these races. Again, we've seen, what we would expect to be up front versus what's up front. Sean Brightsman, again, he's already made his pit stop, and I just haven't seen him, making the moves that we expected from him. Again, he did spin out, and that cost him quite a bit of time, but even really before that, he wasn't, the typical Sean Brightsman we're used to seeing in the truck and the cup on road courses. He absolutely dominates in those races in the Northwest Racing Series. But maybe just hasn't figured out what he needs to figure out with these super late models, as he's up front, but he's just not that dominating force that we know him to be in the Cup and the Truck Series.
He does have quite a few good runs to his credit here in the series, including that win at Limerock earlier tonight. Now, up in 6th place right now, just trying to hold on, try to reel in Washington for a top 5, but running out of time. They're down to 11 laps to go, as Marshall Peterson has already crossed the stripe to make it 10 laps to go. They're almost in the clutches of Marshall Peterson. It's not too much to think right now that Marshall Peterson could possibly lap up to 5th maybe in this race. He can get White and Brightsman realistically here before the end of this race.
Yeah, and you saw the 87 of Ian Holloway go for a little bit of a ride into the outside wall. He recovers from it. Like you said, 10 laps to go, and there's Sean Brightsman and Bryce Beatty, like you just mentioned. They are in the crosshairs, and I bet you can probably get these two at least, maybe 2 more in front, but yeah. That would put us at about 4 cars in the lead lap. That's kind of what I guesstimated we might see is 4 to 5 cars on the lead lap, and that would put us in that range. So, Marshall Peterson definitely having a fantastic run here tonight, and he's just picking them up and putting them down right now. But what we have to keep an eye on, Greg, is what we saw in the last one. He was going to put a car lap down. Or multiple laps down, and that was when the trouble spelt disaster for Shane Quinn. Could he be the benefactor of something that happened to him in the last race this time to help him potentially get the win?
Well, he's going to be hoping for that to happen here in number 4, and hope that karma comes around, some good karma comes his way, if you will, for this one. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because we don't want to see that happen. We don't want to see what happened to Limerock happen again. As right now, Quinn, he's just trying to hold on and stay in a position in case it does happen. But again, we're hoping that that's not the case once again.
Yeah, he's hoping. If you're Peterson, you don't want to see it happen. If you're Quinn, you do. Carroll, we'll see. He's about 30 seconds behind. So that would be, kind of minute for Chris Carroll, Nick Bellamy. It would have to be a pretty significant incident on track for one of these guys back here, second or third, fourth, fifth, and beyond, to make something happen. But Shane Quinn is in the spot right now that if something about an 8-second penalty, or not say penalty, 8-second incident on track happened, he could potentially capitalize on it. But I just don't know if it's going to happen, because he's got a few cars to go. But look who he's about to pass here. He's about to get by Sean Breitzman. Now that's a sight that you don't see often. Sean Breitzman potentially going a lap down, and on top of that, add to boot, he's going to be a lap down on a road course.
That's quite the crazy stat if you think about it, considering what we saw just an hour ago at Limerock out of Sean Breitzman in that number 46. What we saw him do there and have that dominating second half of the race, you thought, oh boy, Sean Breitzman got building momentum like that, and then moving on to Canadian Tire, where he has dominated this year already. You thought, oh boy, this is over before they even show up. Give the trophy to Breitzman, but not the case. And this is why you run the race regardless. This is exactly why you do that, because you never know what's going to happen. You might get a Marshall Peterson come in and just dominate the race like we have.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, did that little spin there, was it enough to allow Sean Breitzman to not win this race? I mean, yes, it was damaging to his run. He didn't collect any damage from it other than maybe flat spot in the tires, getting a little dirt and dust and grime on him. But, he's really loose. You can see him coming out of these corners behind your leader. And it's just, he's fighting that car a ton, just trying to keep it going straight. So, I just don't think Sean Breitzman is happy with the setup on that car tonight.
And it's just funny because it's the exact same setup that they ran at Limerock. So maybe the setup was built intention for Limerock. Unfortunately, it just doesn't come out as well at Canadian Tire. Not sure where the setup was actually built and what track they built and tweaked the car to get it to this setup was at, but seemed like it worked better for Breitzman at Limerock. But for Peterson, it seems like it worked a lot better here. So it's kind of driver's discretion. Remember, there are a couple changes you can make. You can mess with the steering ratio mainly on fixed setups. You can mess with the steering column. You can mess with the ratio. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do with the steering to make it work more for you. But as far as like spring rates and tire pressures and stuff, you can't touch that.
Yeah, it's a fixed set, but like you said, there are certain things you can do. And one thing that can be done, each driver can do this, and you can only do it once during the race, and that was during the pit stop, is how much fuel you add to the car. You run it out, basically the tank is empty, you know about how many laps you can get. Some of these guys may opt to fill that tank all the way up, put as much fuel in it as you can, weight this car down. It's going to plant the rear end of the car more on the track, possibly give it a little more grip. You see Sean Breitzman wiggling a little bit. The rear end of that car is coming out. Did he put less fuel in it? Maybe just a splash of fuel in his machine. And could that be a reason why it's not handling right? Because, when these cars get set up, they get set up for a certain amount of fuel in the tank. And when that tank gets emptier, or more empty, it can cause the rear end to slide out a little bit. So a lot of factors can play into how that car is handling.
Well, we have those questions. We have a guy down on pit road who can go down and bounce around with a couple of these crew guys and see if we can get them some answers. We'll see if Wesley can go catch up maybe with Breitzman, and let's go say Chris Carroll or Shane Quinn, and guys who we've already talked to tonight from Limerock. Let's catch up with the podium from Limerock, Wesley.
I got one word.
What?
Can you guess it?
No.
No.
I cannot.
I'll be right back.
On his way.
I'm sure that was more than one word, but anyway, Peterson is still out front. Still Quinn, Carroll, and Bellamy. Greg, those have been your top four all race long. Really, Breitzman's been in sixth. So your top six drivers really haven't changed all race.
It's going to be a wicked one here for the finish. And like you said, yeah, the top 5 have really stayed the same for the entire race. And how about Shane Quinn? He has only been as low as 2nd place in that number 4 car. Whereas Marshall Peterson started 3rd, took him a few laps to get around Shane Quinn in the number 4. But once he did, it was on from there. Shane Quinn, 2 very, very strong performances here tonight. 5 laps to go for Quinn in the number 4 right now.
Hey, got a question for you. I'm seeing what you're seeing. It is 5 laps ago. We have Bryce Beatty, Shane Quinn, deja vu all over again with just a handful of laps to go. If you're Shane Quinn right now, are you a little maybe shaking in your boots, a little scared here, like, oh, not again?
Wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of just hang out and hope for the best, because he's 10 seconds back of Peterson and it's 45 back to Carroll. I think we might just see Shane Quinn content to ride there and wait for a mistake. And there it is, as Beatty kind of slides up there, and Quinn's going to be able to make the pass there off of turn number 2. Wesley, heard you key up there. You got something for us?
All drivers in the top 3 can go on fuel to the finish. It'll be interesting to see. Nobody will pit. 4 to go.
Well, we knew they weren't going to pit, Wesley.
Why were you asking me?
No, we wanted to know if they filled it up all the way or if they just put a splash in just enough
Well,
to
I'll
get
just
to
say
the
that
end.
Peterson said he had enough left in his tank, so I think he filled up to the top brim when he pitted.
Well,
there we go.
It looks like it based on their stop, so, it was a good, we wanted to make sure if they just put that splash, because, like I said, a lot of things can affect the handling of these cars, but Shane Quinn, he does get by Bryce Beatty in the 07 cleanly this time. No incident on track, but it is 4 laps to go for Marshall Peterson. Like I said, it's Marshall's Law here at Canadian Tires. There you see 3 laps to go for Marshall Peterson.
Peterson just trying to hold on right now. Go as far as he can. Try to get that first tour victory. 10 seconds up on Shane Quinn right now. Chris Carroll, Nick Bellamy, Josh Washington, the only cars left here on the lead lap. By the way, it's about 2 seconds on the racetrack back from Washington to Peterson. Charles, do you think Peterson can catch up to Washington?
I honestly think he can. I didn't think he was going to catch Sean Bryson as quick as he did, and he caught him and he passed him. So, yeah, I honestly think he could catch him. As there's Washington right there. There's Peterson. I really do think he can potentially catch him, especially knowing that this track is 2.43 miles long, and they are just cruising along right now. I honestly think he can catch him. It's just going to be a tough one. There's the pit entrance right there. So they're going to come up now. 2 laps to go. Based on the distance, yes, I think he can.
Yeah, I think he's going to catch him before they get back to the white flag this time, because Peterson's right there lurking on Washington. He has damage, and Peterson's clean as a whistle right now on the number 19. But we have to go back to what happened in Limerock. Does that happen again with lap traffic?
Yeah, we really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. These drivers don't want to see it. Obviously, we don't want to see it for the leader or the second place, anybody involved, but it definitely shook things up in that last race, and it very well could this time if it happens. But you look at the gaps right there between your first, second, third, fourth, whatever positions down. 10 seconds to second place, 50 seconds to third. And then you go right there a minute 15 to fourth, then a minute to something to fifth as it's cycling. And just a quick reminder as we're coming and watching this little battle for real estate, you'll see it fluctuating fourth and fifth right now. Now just fourth, as Washington is a lap down. you see it fluctuating 3.667, and it'll fluctuate 1.16. The reason those are fluctuating like that, for anyone wondering that's noticed it as the white flag, is out, and we have our CRN one to go. That is because one is how far he is behind the leader, one is how far the leader is fixing to catch him. So it lets you know
Charles,
both of them.
Hey, as we're coming to the last lap, I finally got your answer. The leader, Peterson, filled up 18 gallons of fuel in his tank. I don't know how big the tank is, but he said he put 18 gallons of fuel in there.
So Peterson taking the white flag, just trying to hold on right now and just keep it clean. We know he can go to the end as he comes up now, trying to settle this down. Mump's corner. Try to hold on, and he will grab his first career Northwest Tour victory as they come around through the final stages. And what a performance for Marshall Peterson in that number 19 car tonight.
Yeah, he has just been doing an amazing job, and we'll be talking to him here in the post-race show in just a few minutes, as he is going to come around the corner again. Just a few more turns is all he likes, and right there you see pit entrance is open, but he's not going to go in there. He's going to come around, and that little white line right there, he will officially take home the win here tonight as
Hey, Charles,
dominating fashion.
They're celebrating on pit lane. Really great strategy on the fuel for Peterson. But you know, Charles and Greg, I'm a stat guy. You want one real quickly? Peterson won. Brightsman won the first race at Limerock. Well, guess what? Second and third, the same for both races. Quinn and Carroll, second and third.
Not a bad performance for those two drivers here tonight. They're going to get interviewed twice here on LSR TV as the rest of the field makes their way around. But how about it for Marshall Peterson? His first career Northwest Tour victory, and he gets it in dominating style here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Big road course win for the driver of the number 19, right?
Greg, he will do some celebrating here in a few moments, but we are going on over 3 hours. Again, these guys have been racing for 3 hours here tonight. Give or take about 10 or so minutes in between the lobbies. As they get in here, they get going to practice, and then right into the race, not counting qualifying that they had to do as well. So we'll talk to them in a moment, but of course it's time, you know what it is. Time is while he celebrates for your unofficial race results. Again, brought to you by, presented by Sawblade.com.
It is Marshall Peterson grabbing the victory here at Canadian Tire for his first career Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products victory. Shane Quinn second, Chris Carroll third, as they're all still having issues on the backstretch and all that fun stuff. They're still wrecking back there. Nick Bellamy and Josh Washington round out the top five. Only 4 cars on the lead lap when the checker flag falls. Sean Brightsman, Chris White, Seth Frazier, Caden Anderson, and BJ Tidrick finished the top 10.
In 11th place through 20th, going to be Casey Garber, Brock Denny, Cole Raz, Isaiah Gill, Dan Lowther, Travis McKinney, Ian Holloway, Kelly Pointer, Bryce Beatty, and Thomas O'Hara. And rounding out the rest of your fields here, just a short little list. Going to be Ellie Musgrave, Jake Podan, Ryan Gormley, Trey Tarbuck, Gary Smith, Jason Day, and Bart Hector Jr. Guys finishing well deep in the field here tonight. Greg, they're lined up. They're getting ready to be talked to. So I think it's time to pay a little tribute to our sponsors here. And we get to talk to top 3 here in the post-race show.
Welcome back to the LSR TV post-race show here at Canadian Tire. And second and third, we're going to catch up with the same guys in the same order after this one with a new winner up front. We're talking about Marshall Peterson getting the win, but Wesley Allen once again catching up with third place, Chris Carroll.
Hey, what's that cliche they always use for Henry VIII? Second verse, same as the first. Well, third place will be the same as well for Christmas Carroll. Chris Carroll finishing third again. Chris, got to be happy. Survived the road courses on the podium. What's your thoughts? Chris Carroll, do you copy?
Yes, I am here. Sorry. You got a copy?
Yes. You get my question?
Right. Yes, I did. I just try to stay out of trouble all night. I'm no road course guy, so I'm just trying to stay out of the trouble and get a good finish tonight.
Well, you know, staying out of trouble, especially in road course races, that's got to be very, very important because you can actually get in more trouble than I think at road courses than you can on the pavement track sometimes.
Well, I don't need any help getting any trouble at these places, so I can do that all on my own. I'm just trying to stay out of it and keep the rubber on the road.
How tired of you running this long ordeal tonight for these twin Pyrotech road course events for the Northwest iRace Tour?
I'm not gonna lie to you. My legs are a little sore. I'm a little fat and out of shape, and I'm sweating like rooting in a church right now. I can't say I'm not.
Well, maybe you need a shower, Stinky. Before I let you go, thank your sponsors, brother.
I need to thank A51 Pro and the A51 guys, and a special shout out to my spotter tonight, Brad. He's on Eastern time, and he stayed up till 1 a.m. to guide me through all this stuff. So a shout out to him.
When it's all said and done, Chris Carroll, or as Charles calls him, Christmas Carroll, will finish in the number 3 position. Both races on the podium in third. For the driver in second place, let's go down to Spokane, Washington, Greg Rance.
And I've caught up with our top two. First, Shane Quinn. And Shane, again, a second place here tonight, about 10 seconds back of Marshall Peterson in this one. But, man, you look like you had a lot of speed in that number 4 car all night, not just here at Canadian Tire, but at Limerock as well. A lot of speed, both races. And something about road courses always seems to turn your season around.
Yeah, it's I grew up on a road course, so I got a natural edge on it, I guess. I thought I had an edge on everybody in practice all week, but Marshall showed up and proved me wrong, so good for him. He was fast last year too, so I think I heard along the line somewhere he's another fellow go-kart racer, so that's probably where he gets it from. So congrats to Marshall.
And talk about the go-kart experience and how that transfers over here onto the iRacing simulator, because let's face it, a go-kart and a super late model, very, very different driving styles, but it seems like just that overall, just that making the left turns and the right turns, it seems like all that pays off in dividends no matter what you're driving. That seat time helps out big time.
Yeah, I think no matter what you're driving, I'm sure Marshall would do the same thing in a Spec Miata or a shipper cart. You know, it's just like you have an idea what your vehicle, what you want it to do on the track. So, I mean, no matter what you hop in, you're going to be pretty quick.
Well, Shane, it has been a wild night here at the road course. However, we're done turning right for the year, because next up, after a few weeks
that
off,
bums me out.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be bummed about that one, but we're heading to Nashville next for the first time in series history after the turn of the new year. This is the last time that the road course, that the Northwest Tour is going to race in 2020. Moving on to 2021, where we give 2020 the see you later. But next up is Nashville Nashville Fairgrounds for the first time in series history. You excited to head to the historic 5/8 Fairgrounds?
Yeah, I don't even have the track yet. I've never even done a lap or know what it looks like. I just heard it's bumpy and produces good racing, so it should be a good show.
All right, well, we'll have to get you going on getting to the track and getting some laps in. But Shane, a second chance to thank your sponsors.
Just my fiance and just Mike Wood again, all my friends I do this with, Vista Construction, Quinn's Property Management, Better Hall Chevrolet did pretty good today. So hope everyone had fun watching.
Shane Quinn, second place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And real quick before we get to Marshall Peterson, Wesley talked about how the drivers were the exact same, second and third in both races. Not just the case in the A mains tonight, because in the second split race that was going on at the same time, the same exact thing happened. Mark Farrer, who got second in the first race at Limerock, got second again at Canadian Tire. Briar Reynolds got third in both Limerock and Canadian Tire. It was Matthew Atkinson picking up the win in the second split race at Canadian Tire here in this one. But our winner here in the race that we showed you, the A main, the top flight, how about it for Marshall Peterson? A dominating performance. First win on the tour. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Marshall, and we were talking about it throughout the day. Seemed like you had quite a bit of road course experience. We were calling you a road course ringer here on the broadcast. Is that about accurate? Is that where your racing background lies on the road courses?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I grew up racing go-karts, like Shane said, so it just comes naturally to me. The ovals are quite a bit harder for me, though.
Well, tell us a little bit about what brings you to the Northwest Tour. I mean, obviously, besides the fact that you live in the Northwest, but it's a primarily oval series. What brings you to the Northwest Tour? Is it just for when they're on the road course, or do we expect to see you dipping into the oval racing as well?
Yeah, well, my fiance she races a late model. They've been racing on ovals for a long time, so it's just something I've been trying to get into more. I've been trying to make the A mains, but been struggling a little bit. So maybe next race.
And speaking of that next race, it's after the turn of the new year. It's January 3rd at Nashville. Are you excited to head to Nashville? It's the first time in series history that it visits Nashville, and you're going in as the most recent winner in tour history.
Yeah, I hear good things about it. I haven't turned a lap there yet, but hopefully I can get some practice in. I can do better.
Well, Marshall, it's your first career win, so it's your first shot to thank your sponsors here on LSR TV. Who got you here?
Well, I'd like to thank my fiance and my dad. They're both watching right now. They help me race in real life too, so thanks to them.
Winner here at Canadian Tire for the first time in his career on the Northwest Tour, Marshall Peterson. Congratulations. Well, as we wrap things up here at Canadian Tire and we take some time off for the holidays, as this is our final time in 2020 that we will race the super late models here on LSR TV. And Wesley, I'm going to start with you. It was definitely a wild night here on the road courses. We saw some drama at the end of the first race. We saw a clinic put on in the second race. Two very, very different races at two very, very different racetracks. But man, turning right and turning left in these super late models, it's a sight to behold for sure.
Oh, for no doubt about it. A humdinger for sure for everybody that enjoyed road courses, left and rights and carousels and chicanes and bus stops and box corner and so many more. It was a great event. Congratulations to Sean Brightsman winning at Limerock, and of course Mr. Marshall Peterson having that tank fully full. He said he put 18 gallons of fuel in the tank ready to go, didn't have to make any late race stops, and he puts it in victory lane. I also find it exciting that Shane Quinn and Chris Carroll were able to finish second and third on the podium, as well as what we saw in the B class. But a fun time as always being the Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, virtually or in reality every year at the Snowball Derby, like last week in Pensacola. Thanks again to Joe Constance and what they do with Joe's Racing Products, and we'll get ready for Nashville, home of the All-American 400. It's going to be a virtual battle for the iRacing Northwest Tour next Sunday night from the Music City. We'll cover it.
Lap count still to be determined. Thank you very much, Wesley, and I will see you tomorrow night for the Northwest Cup Series coming up here for their playoff race at Michigan. But Charles, turning to you, what do you expect out of Nashville next week? It's going to be our first race. I believe it's going to be our first broadcast of 2021, and what better way to do it than the first race in series history at the Nashville Fairgrounds? Going to be a spectacular night. A lot of drivers looking forward to the Northwest All-American race. We still again, have lap count to be determined. I'm hearing possibly 200 laps. We'll wait and see for sure. But no matter what, it's going to be a wild race at Nashville for the first time.
Yeah, my thoughts are the same as some of the drivers here. I don't even know if I own the tracks. Definitely
You
I'm not
better
turned
get going.
in. I have not turned any laps at it. I probably should get it if I don't have it. I'm thinking about it. I can't remember. I'll have to go look when this race is over. But regardless of that, it's going to be a fun, exciting race, and looking forward to seeing what the competition is there. It's going to be a good track. With good competition, yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Well, you better get it, because I have another idea for Upper Edge at Nashville coming up here in the future. Again, we talked about that a little bit on the broadcast. We'll talk more about that throughout the rest of the broadcasts here on 2020. But for us here tonight from the road courses, it's time to say goodbye. Our winners, again, Sean Brightsman at Limerock, Marshall Peterson at Canadian Tire, for Wesley Outland down on pit road, and Charles Wooten beside me and in the production truck. I'm Greg Rentz. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. From us at the Northwest Tour, have a very safe and happy holiday and a happy new year, and we'll see you at the Nashville Fairgrounds in 2021, and it's the first race of the new year is next up. Thank you, fans, for tuning in to Live Sim Racing and CRN Sports Radio.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's